1 sec.
Let me know when it's good to go.
There we go.
One sec. I'm going to go off Roll20 and log a bit back in a second.
Okay.
Got my power card this time.
Yep, make sure you guys got your power cards. I sent a few people updated power cards because you guys just needed to have your utilities and your force slot. And make sure when you guys copy the powers out of the books, or when you copy the powers and post on that, it comes from the book.
Yep.
Because sometimes online sources and stuff, they change the wording, and sometimes it's all about the wording and stuff.
Okay, I'm ready.
Let me know when the stream started.
Oh, it already started.
Oh. You're supposed to say something. Okay.
I did.
He actually did, yeah.
I didn't hear anything. Okay. So last we, saw our heroes. You guys just arrived into Evelis, and you were tasked to go to the town of Letest, where you were to report and start helping out there. You guys met up in the morning. You guys got onto a wagon, and you started on your journey. Along the way, you guys had a little bit of a chance to talk to each other a little bit more, get to know each other. And you guys made it to the halfway marker of the 2-day journey, where there was a clearing and a rest stop. Upon arriving, you guys were met with a gruesome scene. Dead bodies everywhere, blood, gore, mass murder all over the place. After a little bit of investigation, you guys came to the conclusion that it was most likely perpetrated by a dragon. There was a few signs here and there that made it a little obvious that it was probably a dragon. Footprints, signs of a breath attack. And after examining the area, you guys were quickly set upon by a very large band of goblins. And after a few of you, thought back to your time in nature and travels in the world, you guys came to the realization that it was a very large goblin band. And after a very long battle where a few members of the party almost fell unconscious, and Nat was turned into a porcupine. You guys completed the battle, and then, but sadly, you guys did not take out the goblin commander quick enough, and he was able to call in reinforcements. Secondary battle ensued, and you guys were successful in repelling the goblin attack, and by that time, it was pretty late in the evening, and you guys agreed that it would be best to just stay where you were and set up defenses and go to sleep. You guys set up a watch, and you guys went to sleep. Okay, so you guys are all asleep. The watch order, I believe, was Sinkos, Conrad, and then Damasaries?
I believe so.
Yeah, Damasaries was the last watch. So it is morning time. You guys are starting to be stirred. You guys wake up a little groggy, a little tired still from yesterday's battle. You guys are woken up with gentle conversation. You can hear people talking. And what do you guys do? I'll go in order. Nat, what are you going to do?
I besides waking up, I put my shirt on.
Okay. With its brand new holes.
Brand new holes. And then I will poke my head out of my tent.
Okay. And when you poke your head out, you see over by the campfire that was set in the area, you see Damasari is awake and he is talking with the members of the Platinum Band and the caravan drivers.
Okay. So after poking my head outside the tent, I step out of it, take my bag out, and I start putting the tent back.
Okay. Okay, so your tent's all up. What are you going to do?
Eat first.
Okay. You pull out one of your rations. It's, standard trail ration. It's edible. It's filling.
I'm going to take that out of my inventory. And then after that, I walk up to the conversation.
Okay. Next, Conrad, what are you doing?
So I would wake up. First thing I would do is check all my gear, see if it's all there.
Everything's there.
Then I would, roll up my bedroll, get all my stuff on, person now.
Got it.
And eat a ration, and then again head over to the conversation as well.
Okay. Cletus, what are you doing?
I'm gonna get up. I was sleeping in one of the carriages, so I'm gonna head over to my tent and pack it up.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna see if there's any water around, because my water sack's empty.
Okay. Currently where you guys are at, it's just a clearing surrounded by woods. You guys didn't notice any water on the way in. You would probably have to try to search for some water, or, you could try to talk to maybe one of the caravan drivers. They might know the area better.
Okay, I'll go over to one of them and ask them.
Okay, so you're gonna head over to the group as well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Corin, what are you gonna do?
I'll wake up and try to find some breakfast, scavenge around the area.
Oh, so you're gonna scavenge the areas? Okay, give me a nature roll. Okay. It doesn't take you too long. You're a forest creature. Eventually you're able to find some fresh berries and stuff that are edible. It doesn't. You don't have to go too far. It's a very lush forest, so you probably only have to go 20, 30 feet away from the clearing before you start running into vegetation that is edible. A few of them were close enough to the battle, so you might have to scrape a little goblin jam off of it, but you're able to get a ration out of it.
And I'll bring it over to the group and offer some to everybody.
Oh, yeah. So, with that roll, you probably, if you want to carry, you could probably get a couple rations out of it. Maybe I'll say 2 rations.
Yeah, just some nice fresh breakfast for everybody.
Okay.
Just so it's not only dry rations.
Okay. Okay, and as you guys wake up, you guys, go through your rituals. You get up, and before you get to the group, Nadalyn, you're met with Synkos. He wakes up and comes and talks to you. He walks up to you and he says, Nat, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I noticed that, you seem to be kind of close to that shirt, and I know yesterday you got a couple holes in it, and I was wondering, if you wanted to, I could, if you would allow me to, I do have this, traveling cloak. If you wanted to, you could wear this for, 10 minutes, and I would be able to fix your shirt for you.
Really? You can?
Yes. Wizards are trained, and with a wave of his hand, he creates a small little thing of chalk in his hand. And with another wave, it disappears. And then in his other hand, he makes a little wave, and there's a small little bell in his hand. And he rings it a couple times. And then, he does another wave, and there's a turd in his hand. And he makes it disappear. So wizards are trained to do all sorts of fun things with arcane arts, and repairing a shirt is no trouble at all.
Madeline's ears twitch at that kind of news. She gives a very quick thought, and she says, Okay, give me the cloak.
Okay, and he reaches in his bag, and it's a standard traveling cloak. It's just simple fabric. It's, not the best, but, you're able to wrap yourself up into it and, take off your shirt without, standing there exposed.
Alright.
Okay.
I give him the shirt too.
Okay, and he grabs this shirt, and, he walks over, and he starts rummaging through his bags, pulling out, like, certain, you recognize these, knowing the arcane arts as certain ritual components. And he sits down and he starts working on it, and he lets you know that it's going to be about 10 minutes.
Thank you.
Okay. And you make your way back over to the group, and after this, like, you guys are all kind of at the group, and Raylon's there, Demerel, Daylock, and the two caravan drivers, or the wagon drivers. And they notice you guys, approaching, and Raylon's the first one to speak up. Said, about time you all got up. We were just discussing the current situation. Apparently the caravan drivers are a little worried because there should have been another caravan that should have arrived the same time we did last night, but they've not arrived yet. The wagons that are here only account for 2 of the caravans, but there's always 4 running at a time. And 2 of them should always be meeting at the middle at all times. So we're a little worried. We're going to be heading out soon. Sadly, Zom seems to have left us last night. And Damriel looks over at him, and he's like, "It's not my fault. I set up the barrier so no one could get in, not out." And Raylon lets out a laugh. He's like, "That you did, girl." And Jamasari steps up. He's like, "Well, I did see him last night when he left. He just seemed like he wanted to go his own way. So, I'm not one to stop a man from making decisions, so I didn't stop him."
That's a shame.
And,
So he left on Demisari's watch?
yes.
Okay.
From what he said, he probably left on sometime during Demisari's watch, so he's probably been gone for a few hours at the very least, maybe 4 or 5.
Well, if that's his choice, that's his choice.
Madeline's like, that's a shame. I just finally got to know his name.
And Raylon, go ahead.
So, you mentioned that there are often 4 caravans total that travel, or 4 carriages.
Yeah, as soon as you say that, one of the wagon drivers speaks up. He said, "Yes, basically it's a 2-day trip, one way to get to Letest or Celestia. And what we do is we run 4 caravans. So basically, at all times, every single day there's a caravan that arrives in either city. So it's a steady flow of traversing, trade, things like that. Most of the larger cargo is handled via waterway from Letest and Thurgrimir, but usually people and smaller goods, things that need to get there pretty quickly, we send it by caravan. So, we do have the 4 wagons here, which would account for 2 of them, but there should be still 2 more wagons.
What's the standard protocol of attack? Is it to double back or continue on?
It's usually to continue on.
I say let's continue on then.
And the other caravan driver says, "We really have not had too many issues with attacking. I mean, this," and he points at the gruesome scene, and he almost like upchucks a little bit, and he's like, "This is actually the first time one of these caravans has ever been hit." And Jaemissaries gets up and he trounces over to one of the dead bodies, not of the goblin dead bodies, but one of the travelers, and he goes and grabs something off the body, and he brings it over to the group. He says, "And when I was on my watch, I wanted to see who was attacked on the caravan, and it appears it was the hunting group that was sent to Letest. And if you guys look around, some of the bodies, especially Conrad, you do recognize a couple of them."
Wait, so these are the experienced ranger guys?
Yes, they are you guys didn't look at too much at the dead bodies the last time, but you guys went through the goblins. But yes, now that the sun's coming up and you guys are fresh and you're not being attacked by goblins, yes, this is the ranger group. They were completely wiped out.
Wow, must have been some formidable foe. Well, dragon.
And Jaemissaries nods at what you say. He says, "Yeah, I've never really faced one myself, but I know the older dragons can, attack entire cities." And Raylon, shakes his head. He's like, "It's a pity, but we're alive, and we just need to start moving on. We've been waiting since we've been up, but we figured it's probably best to move on forward, and maybe hopefully we'll run into them on the way there. And I mean, our first priority is to let Letest know that this caravan has been attacked, so word can get to Letest and Celestia."
It's best to follow protocol sometimes, especially when it's the first time something like this has happened.
Yeah, and both of the caravan drivers, they nod, and they're pretty pale. They seem kind of shaken up by the whole ordeal. And Damarel looks over at Daylock, and she tells him, "Go ahead and help these caravan drivers prep our wagons for leaving." And Daylock nods to her and looks at the two wagon drivers, and they start heading over to get the wagons ready.
Okay.
And you guys are also met with Corin, who brings over some fresh fruit, berries, things like that.
Hey, Corin.
Hey, hungry?
Do you mind if I save some of these?
Yeah, sure.
All right, so Connor will take some.
Okay. I mean, unless you try to take a ration out of it, that would basically be half of what he gathered. So.
Well, would it be a trail ration because I just ate one of those? From my
what I'm saying is, how many are you grabbing? If you're just grabbing a few to munch on, it wouldn't count as a ration, but you can take them.
I guess if Corin will allow me, I'll take a ration's worth. Not the whole thing, but like you said.
Yeah, it's about 2 rations worth, so you'd basically be taking half of what he had.
Okay.
Yeah, he won't stop you.
All right.
Alan tries a berry or two.
Okay. Yeah. And it is delicious. Corin knows his stuff. These are perfectly ripe. They're juicy. A little tart, but not too tart. A little bit of sweetness to them. They're very delicious.
Cletus takes a little handful to munch on too.
Okay. I mean, between you three, Cletus, Corin, and Nat, you've pretty much finished off the berries. Corin, it is enough for you to have a meal because you are a pixie. Okay. And after a few moments, Sin goes over to the group and he presents. He walks up and pokes Nat. You feel a little poke on your leg.
Yes?
He says, "Here you go." and he hands you your shirt. And previously, where there was holes and patches, are a complete shirt.
Thank you.
He smiles. He says, "Not a problem."
Nat will remember this.
And the shirt, it still has that good old smell you like on it, but it's fresh, clean, and new. And when you smell it, and you smell that you were waiting for and hoping was still going to be there, he kind of like nods at you a little bit, like he knows that that's what you wanted, so he made sure that it was still there.
Gotta love that smelly smell.
Mm-hmm. She's almost blushing at this.
Yeah, probably.
It's as good as new.
It is pretty much good as new. It is a good as new shirt, but it still has that smell.
I give Sinkos a nod.
Okay. And, he smiles and looks over at Damasaries, says, "So, we heading out?" And Damasaries gives him a nod and says, "Well, I'll be over by the caravan." And he starts trouncing over, and Raylon looks up. He says, "Probably best we all make our way over there." And he starts leaving for the caravan. Damasaries follows.
I also head over to the caravans.
Okay.
I follow as well.
I, in a sneak-like fashion, put my shirt back on.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Corn?
Yeah, I'm gonna sit on Conrad's head and follow as well.
As you're walking over to the caravan, Conrad, you feel the very familiar, just slight nudge on the top of your head, like it gains a little bit of weight, and you hear the fluttering of wings.
Conrad looks up. Oh, hey again.
Hey.
So, is this like your designated spot, so to speak?
I would also sit on Netland, but I think she's kinda busy.
Fair point. He kind of whispers.
Okay, you
So-
guys. Go ahead.
No, I was about to say, so we continue on.
Yeah. You guys make your way over to the wagon. By the time you guys get there, you guys are, the caravan or the wagons are ready to go. Damasaries goes and sits in the rear caravan, and you guys make your way to the same seats that you guys had last time.
Can I change seats for one?
Of course.
Alright, I'm gonna go sit with the emissaries.
Okay. You go over towards the back of the rear wagon, and you look in the back, and that one's actually filled with stuff. And Damasaries just found like a little area, like right up at the front edge of the wagon. That's pretty much his size area. And I mean, unless you want to sit on his lap, there's really not a lot of room in here.
Tempting, but no, I will go back to my original seat.
Okay. And on the thing, like it's I set it up to the same marching order. If any of you guys want to try to get a different seat, just let me know.
I won't change my seat, but Nalan gives the bar.
Okay. And he takes it back and furls it up and puts it in his bag.
Can I try to take the seat that Rayon had last time? And up with the driver?
Oh no, by the time you got over to the caravan, he was already up there.
Darn it. I will sit in my original seat then.
I mean, are you really going to take shotgun from the old guy?
Yes.
I mean,
Wow.
He has old man privilege.
I mean, you could always try to fight him for it.
No. He was there first.
Okay. I mean, just walking up there, you see this Raylan is not as large as, say, like you and Damasaries, but he's still a good 6 foot of just solid old man. And his platinum armor it is pretty imposing. So you walk over to the caravan, see him, he looks comfy. Yeah, I'll just sit in the back.
Pretty much.
Okay. And after a few moments, you feel the caravan start moving forward, and you guys are on your way. You guys are traveling for I would say it's about a good 2 hours before the flap in between you guys and the driver opens up, and Raylon peeks in again, and he says, "Oh, okay, I think we got some action going on up here. Um, just hold tight, everyone." And after just a couple more minutes, you feel the wagon come to a stop, and you hear Raylan's armor clinging, and you can hear him stepping down. Daylock and Demerel stand up and go to move out. Same with Syncos. They all start piling out. Not as quickly as last time, but they're just going to see what's going on.
During the trip, I ate a trail ration.
Okay. So you guys want to see what's on, or you guys going to stay seated?
I'm gonna go see what's going on.
Okay.
Me too. Me too.
Okay.
I'll follow.
Okay. You guys make your way outside of the wagon, and I would say about 50 feet in front of the caravan, you guys see a large section of toppled over trees. And along the road, that looks like there's some large impact sites, and right across from that are two wagons, and there you see caravan drivers, and a couple of them look like almost farmhands and stuff like that, and Raylon and the caravan drivers, and everyone walks over. Do you guys follow?
Yes.
Yes, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
I want to do a perception check as I'm going, though. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course. Then. Remember, rolls and stuff like that, you guys are always more than welcome to do them.
Nope.
You look up, and you're not used to Elwes, and you just misgauge it. You're still kind of groggy, and you just look right up in the sun, and you get that like white spot, and you're just like opening and closing your eyes, and everyone you see Conrad look up and like just start blinking rapidly, like, and putting his hands up like he can't see. You are now blinded for one round.
Wonderful.
Okay, so you guys make your way over, and the group goes, and the wagon drivers on your side, they hail the other ones, and the wagon driver from that side comes over, and he says, "Hi, sorry we're late. Apparently we had some trees come down or something." And you look around, and quite a good chunk of the trees closest to the road, they look like they were broken down, snapped down, and they were basically covering the road. You can see a few logs that have been moved out of the way. And I'm going to keep it kind of short. Raylan and the caravan driver explained to them, what they saw, what happened. And basically the caravan drivers, coming towards you guys, basically say that they were trapped here last night clearing the road.
I did a nature check, just seeing if it was natural that the trees came down, was there any force, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, this is very unnatural. There is a few trees that look like they were, forcibly cut down. I mean, you've seen logging before, and a few of them look like they were pulled down with a lot of hands and some axes.
What size hands?
Pretty small.
I think we've got some new goblins on our hands.
Raylan, upon hearing that, looks over and wanders over to the tree you're looking at. He says, looks at it. Damasceres comes over as well, and Damasceres, looks around the situation, looks down back to the log. He says, they probably knew that the dragons attacked, and if they're aware of the caravan schedule, if it is as steady as it is, they would know that if those two caravans were attacked, they could probably pick one off if they blocked one. And Raylon nods his head. He says, yeah, they probably set this up. They probably saw the attack and thought it would be easy pickings.
Well, they were wrong.
As soon as you say that, Raylan chuckles, and He, like that good old buddy, like elbow tap, like punch. You can tell, like he goes to do it, but then realizes that you're a small little pixie, and he stops.
Corin's gonna do it.
Oh, you're gonna do it to him?
Yeah.
Okay, and
Makes more sense that way.
upon doing so, he looked back over because like he looked away after he stopped doing it, and after he feels his little kink on his armor, like he looks over at you and he gives like he goes to do the fist again, but then he like sticks out a finger and he like just kind of like bro fist finger nudges you on your shoulder.
Nice.
And Raylan and Damus Ares joins back up with the group. And upon getting over there, Raylan looks over, and there's just one more log left on the road, and he looks over at you, Cletus, and Damus Ares says, if you young, strong bucks wouldn't mind giving a hand, we might be able to clear this a lot quicker.
I gladly go over, get ready to lift it up and help move it.
Okay, give me an athletics check.
Can I help?
Yes, you can.
Yes.
Corin's gonna help as well.
Conrad will come stumbling while he's like, blinking still and try to help.
By this point, you can see again.
Okay, because he said, okay, never mind. Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
He'll come over.
it's only one round. That's only 6 seconds.
All right, cool. And
Okay.
Would definitely help.
Cletus is just lifting one whole side. We're all barely struggling to lift one.
How did all 3 of us get 12s?
Teamwork.
Okay, there we go. Sorry, his page was not working for a second.
Yeah, me and Damus Ares got this pretty well.
Yeah, basically, like you guys all go and try to lift, and Nat, you're actually lifted up off the ground. Conrad, you're almost lifted off the ground as well. Between Damus Ares and Cletus and Raylon, like they're able to move this log by themselves. And with a little bit of oomph, you guys are able to shift it, and because the road is slightly raised from the rest of the ground, you guys basically just have to put it towards the edge, drop it, and it will roll out of the way. And the road is cleared, and while you guys are doing this, the caravan drivers are talking, and they give each other a nod. The other wagon drivers that were coming towards you guys, they all get on their caravan or wagon, and they start getting ready, and you see their wagons start heading towards Celestia. Raylan looks over at the caravan driver, and the caravan driver says, okay, we best hurry and try to get to Letest as soon as possible. And after that, everyone starts mounting back up on the wagon.
I do so as well.
Okay.
Yep, I get back on.
Everybody down.
Okay, and after a few moments again, the wagon starts moving forward. You guys start progressing. You guys gonna do anything on this trip?
Well, actually, Conrad would want to talk to Cletus, if that's all right.
Okay. Anyone else want to do anything?
I'm fine.
Okay. Nat?
I'll talk to Demerel.
So, Conrad and Cletus, you guys can go first.
Okay. So Conrad would just kind of say, hey, Cletus, just since he's facing across from him.
Afternoon.
So,
Still kind of early morning.
okay, so you definitely have some skills from what I saw yesterday.
I do my best.
Where'd you learn your skills?
Just kind of practicing by myself. One or two people from where I grew up knew how to do this kind of stuff. Learned from them.
Self-taught. I can respect that.
Mm-hmm.
Conrad just kind of goes quiet for a second. And he says, I learned a lot of my skills from my father.
He's probably a great man.
I like to think so. And
Was that it?
yeah, that was it.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay, and Matt, you're feel free to talk or try to talk to Damaro.
Alright, I try to do so. Alright, I try to do so. I say, you did pretty well out there.
Nothing.
Ooh, she's quiet. That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I did try to talk to Zom before, and that kind of got the same results. So, yeah, I'll load it.
If you want, go ahead. Go ahead. Roll me insight. What a bitch. That's all you got. I mean, you have no idea what to think of her. Honestly, she's very hard to read. You may not exactly think she's a bitch, but she's very quiet. She's very. I mean, she's just hard to read. She doesn't really show expression or anything like that. So you're not really you're not quite sure what to think.
I tell Nat, don't worry, she's like that with everyone. Rub my elbow.
See,
fair enough.
seeing that, I'll push some berries towards her.
Damara?
Yeah.
She looks over as you get kind of close and sees what you're doing and just goes back off to staring.
I'll throw a berry at her face.
Okay. Roll something real quick.
As soon as I see that, my mouth just drops.
does that too, yes. Madeline does that too.
Gary and Daylock quickly snatches it out of the air before it even touches her. And she doesn't even respond to it.
Conrad looks just kind of like surprised, like that, Corin did this as well as, she caught it.
Oh, she didn't catch it. Daylock did.
Ah.
Hey, if you wanted some, I could have just given you some. Towards Daylock.
He gives you a very, kind of disgusted look and smashes the berry in his hand.
Ooh.
I tell Daylock, that wasn't very nice.
Neither was throwing a berry at my lady.
I think Corin meant it in jest, not hostilely.
Well, my lady does not take kindly to jest.
Well,
What about that?
Conch is gonna sit down, really angry, actually.
Okay. You guys see Corn land over on his seat and just cross his arms in a huff. Anyone else want to do anything?
I'm just trying to recover from that.
Cletus is satisfied with the trip.
Okay. Well, the trip is, again, it's a long trip. You guys just truck along the road. It's a 2-day trip. So it takes many, many hours. It's starting to get towards the evening time, a little bit towards dusk, and eventually you guys see the flap from the front open up, and Raylon sticks his head in, and he says, we can see the town. We're almost there. And if any of you guys would like, you guys could look outside the flaps.
I would.
I will.
Okay. The forest that you guys have been traveling in for the most part of this trip has opened up into very large open fields. Basically, out the left side of the caravan, you see very large open fields. Let me pull this up real quick. You guys see very large fields all around you. To the left side of the caravan, you do see a little bit of a mountain poking off in the far distance, both to the north side and south side along the very far western side. You also do see a large bay opening. You can see a bay opening cutting into the land. To the east side or the right side of the caravan, there's open fields for a little bit. What appears to be farms. There's a few houses and stuff here and there. There is one larger alcove of houses in the central part of this one farming area where you see what appears to be like large fields of grain, things like that. And just beyond it is more forest. As you guys progress, eventually you guys are able to see Letest out the side of the caravan looking north. From this distance, all you can really see is a very large walled area set upon by the side of a mountain. And you can see the tops of buildings here and there. It is starting to get dusk, so you are able to see a couple lights starting to flicker on. After a good hour or two, you guys actually make your way towards the gate part of the city. And upon reaching the gate, you hear, the wood gate doors being pulled open. As you guys are coming through, you do see guards standing up. Not as well outfitted as Celestia, but I mean, for guards, they're pretty well fashioned, pretty standard iron armor and stuff like that, not worn out. It looks pretty good for. I mean, you guys have traveled enough and seen guards. I mean, some guards for cities are, like sometimes they'll have like piecemeal armor and stuff like that. Like seems like they're pretty well equipped. And as you make your way through the gate, you guys are able to start seeing a little bit more of the city, and you guys now get this. I didn't add it on Roll20, so I'm just going to have to share it on InfoShare. This is the layout of the town as we progress. Canceled, goddammit. Welcome to Letest. You guys see it?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The gate you guys are entering is that middle one. Basically, as soon as you guys come through the gate, you guys are immediately met with. There's lots of market stalls, things like that. People, it's getting kind of late, so some of them are starting to close up. But you still hear here and there people like calling out, like, "Oh, come get your fruit here. Come get your veggies here. Oh, come get your tools here." And the caravan makes its way through the center part of the market. You guys can see large buildings against the mountain that you guys see. There aren't really too many houses here. It's very large. Sometimes some of them are as large as like 4 or 5 story tall buildings. Very large. You guys really have not seen this type of setup really in towns. Cletus, you may have. I gotta do a side note for you. Do you get that? It's on Discord.
Yes.
Okay. And as you guys are progressing, kind of hard to really make out on the map, but do you see where that thicker black line is around the east side of the town?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like a hill. It starts to cut up and starts to go up, and on the top of it, you guys do see a very large, much better off built building, and there's a wall, gated wall right in front of it. And as you guys get towards the end of the market, the rear wagon actually stops, and you see like a few people from town like walk up and start getting stuff in the back, and you see Dan Messerius like poke his head out and like realize that his caravan has started, and he hops out and tries to catch up to your guys's. So he's basically now walking behind your guys' wagon. And you guys make your way up, and you guys see a very large building. This one, most of the buildings here are, some of them are stone, but most good bulk majority of them are like wood. Well built, very sturdy looking, but you guys do come up against a very large 3-story building, and it's mostly composed out of stone. It appears to have like a thin metal roof on it. And your wagon pulls right up to it and stops, and out front you see a few well-armored guards, plus one man who stands a little bit taller than most, and his armor is a little bit better than the others. You see this man standing there. Boop. You guys get it?
Yep.
Okay. Give you guys a moment to look at it.
Yeah.
Stream gets a C2.
What was that?
Stream gets a C2.
One more time?
The stream gets to C2.
Yes, they do. Like, I'm trying to get better at that. Like I said, but your caravan stops, and Raylon pokes his head in, and he says, "I think we're here." And you hear his armor clinking down, and your other compatriots start piling out the back of the wagon.
I do so as well.
Me too.
I follow suit.
Okay. And you guys all pile out, and eventually the wagon continues back, and it starts, it circles around and starts making its way back in town. And Raylon and Damon Series are the first to step up to the man. He looks over at the group, and he says, "We were expecting more than this." He like looks, and he says, we were kind of curious why you guys were so late. You were supposed to arrive yesterday." And as soon as he says that, Raylon speaks up, says, "We're actually not the ones you were expecting yesterday. We're the ones who were supposed to arrive today." And the guard gives a very curious look. He says, "Okay, well, I'm Guard Captain Walton. I lead the defensive forces in Letest. I've been assigned to bring you to Lord Ravon, and so you guys could receive your orders from him." And again, he looks over your guys' group, notices you all, and he says, he looks over at Raylon, and he's like, "Please explain what you meant by that as we make our way." And he puts out his hand, and he gestures towards the large gated area that you guys are nearby. And he starts guiding you guys over there. And while you guys are walking, Raylon, lets the guard captain know what happened with the caravan and, an attack and stuff like that. And Welton, he's like, that's a sure shame, because, the people were assigned here for, numbers' sake. And if a whole group of you guys have already been wiped out, then we're already starting off short. And Raylon's like, "Yep, it's a sure shame, but it's more adventure for all of us." And he looks back at the group with like a half-hearted smile.
Natalie says, "Yeah." Natalie says, "Yeah."
Walton looks over when you say that, and he gives another like half-ass smile, like, "Yeah." And as you guys continue to walk, he's like, "We were actually really hoping for the first group that was assigned here. They were a group of well-known hunters, and we could have definitely used their skill out here. But I mean, if they were felled, there's not much we can really do about that situation." And eventually, you guys make your guys' way to the gate, and they open it up. And as soon as it opens, you get a better look at the building inside. It's a very large building, much better built than the rest of the ones in here. There's actually like little frilliness around. There's like plants grown not for utility but just for floral looks. There's banners and stuff draped out in front of the banner or in front of this large building, and looks like someone tried to fancy it up pretty good. You guys make your way inside, and you guys are led into inside. It's not nearly as well off as like the palace in Celestia, but it's pretty well. There's a few paintings posted here and there. There's actually a painting of as you walk in of a very large painting, and it's a painting of the king that you guys had seen in Celestia standing next to a very kind of, I would say, grizzled but not dirty. Like he's like it's a human man. He appears to be middle aged, dark hair, beard, but he's wearing like very fine looking robes with like fur and stuff like that. Looking at him, he kind of looks like the king a little bit, but there's any dark area features and stuff like that. And then as you pass that painting overhead, you guys are led into a room, and as soon as the door opens, you see standing in front of this very large, what appears to be the oak desk, that same man from the painting. And you see this man. Everyone see it?
Yes.
Okay. And as soon as you guys enter, he's looking at stuff at his desk, on his desk, paperwork, things, like he's just sorting through things, and he looks up and, Welton, is this them? About time. And as he goes to say something, and Welton puts up his hand, and he says, "Sir, actually, this is the second group that was supposed to arrive today." And he looks really curious. He says, "Well, explain yourself, Walton. What do you mean by this? I was promised 2 groups by today, and you're telling me there's only 1?" And after a few moments, Walton relays the information to Ravon of what happened. And he said, "This is outrageous. If they guaranteed us these numbers and these forces, they should have guaranteed that we received them. What is Celestia thinking?" And he kind of puts his fist on the desk, slamming it, not too hard, but just he seems upset about it. And he looks upon you guys all of you, and he says, "Well, that is another matter entirely. Welcome to Letest. I am the mayor of this fine city. I have been recently posted here to run this place after my predecessor's disappearance. I'm trying my best to manage this area, and I will be mostly organizing where and what you guys do while you are assigned here." And he looks upon the group, and as soon as his eyes wander, he sees Raylon standing there. He's like, "Oh, Raylon!" And he actually stands up, walks around his desk, and walks right up to Raylon, and puts his hand out. Raylon, puts his hand out, and Ravon double hand shakes it. Says, "Oh, it is a good honor to see that you were assigned to Letest. Your mighty band is exactly what we needed." And he's almost kind of blushing in front of Raylon. And Raylon's like, "It's not a problem, we're assigned where we're most needed." And he says, "That is good. I actually have a special assignment for you once we take care of everything." And Raylon gives him a nod. And then Ravon looks towards the rest of you guys. He says, "While you are here, you may stay at our inn. We have our major inn here that you guys can stay at. The lodgings there will be very adequate, and inside the inn, you will also find the jobs and assignment boards in there. Basically, for the time being, what I need you guys to do is to just help the town as you can. Over the next few days or weeks, I need you guys to fulfill as many contracts as you can to help the city. I do recommend that you do stay in groups. I mean, as you're all aware, we've already lost one group itself, and safety is in numbers. And Raylon kind of nods. And he runs over. Ravon runs over to his desk, grabs a piece of paper, and hands it to Raylon, and he says, "This is your assignment. I need you to do. I need this done post haste." And Raylon takes it and looks over it real quick and rolls it up. He says, "Not a problem, sir." And he says, "Sorry, I can't offer more hospitality now. Things are a bit hectic right now, but I do wish you all luck. I hope you guys take advantage of our Grant Smiths in this town. Letest is the major production of most metalworking for Celestia. We do not do a lot of the fancy forging here, but we do refine the metal and get it to ignits and things like that, and that's our main export out of Letest." And he goes back over towards his desk and sits down, and he says, "The test has been pretty safe so far. We have not had too many difficulties, but we are starting to have issues with the surrounding areas, the farms. We've been having more and more reports of people missing, beasts that normally stay far away from the cities, encroaching closer and closer. We've had issues with the docks nearby, and we basically need help all over." And he kind of lets out you see like a half-hearted smile. He kind of looks down at his desk. He says, I didn't wish to be assigned here, but the good king saw fit to assign me here, and I got to do the best I can, and I hope that you will all come to be great assets. And at that point, Guard Captain Welton steps up and he says, "Will that be all, sir?" And Ravon nods and kind of does a hand shooing motion. And Welton looks towards you guys' group and he says, "I will lead you outside." And he opens up the door and he starts heading out. And as you guys as the group starts to move, Ravon sits up again and he says, "Oh, Raylon, one moment, please. If you could, I still have one other assignment. If I could speak with you in private." And Raylon nods and he looks over at Daylock and he says, "Why don't you go with the rest of them towards the inn? Get us a room and we'll meet you there." And Daylock eagerly nods and he starts making his way out. What do you guys do?
I thank him for welcoming us into his city, and tell him I hope I can be of great service.
Okay. And he nods, gives you a nod.
I will follow, Welton out?
Yes.
Me too.
I'm
Yeah,
going to
same.
follow, but at the back of the group.
Okay. Corin?
Yes, I'm gonna follow as well.
Okay, still riding on Conrad's head.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, and you guys make your way back outside through the gate. You guys make your way through past the market, and Welton actually guides you guys all the way over to the inn. And yeah, he says, "This is the battered mare. Madame Katmera knows that you guys are arriving. She will take care of you guys and all your needs as far as lodging, things like that. You guys will need to afford your own lodging for the time being, since everything has been kind of short noticed and we were not able to adequately prepare for housing, such large groups of people. But we've talked with Madame Cadmera, and she's willing to offer you guys some pretty good deals. And he says, do be careful though. Some evenings, this place can get a little rowdy." And he gives a little smile, nods to you guys, and starts walking back towards the building, the large stone building.
I bid him farewell.
Okay. Daylock is the first one to just run right in. Daemis Ares follows, and Sin.
go ahead and walk in with them.
Same.
Yeah, I'll check it out. Yeah, I'll check it out.
And as you guys walk inside, new scene. Don't worry about your pieces for right now. I just wanted to show you guys what you guys are seeing. As you guys enter in the door, it's a very large tavern. You see a lot of tables and a lot of patrons, dwarves, humans, a couple elves, tiefling. You guys actually do see a large dragonborn. They're all thrown about, talking, having drinks, the usual. And over at you hear a little bit of music and a female's voice singing a song, and it's a song that some of you may have heard. It's one of those generic kind of merriment drinking songs, and there you see this person sitting on a barrel singing.
How good is the singing?
Kind of broken. It's not just her singing. It's a couple other people, and their voices crack here and there. It's more of a drinking merriment song, and not so much performance. She is a what appears to be a dwarven lady. She's only like a good 4 feet tall, maybe, and she's sitting singing, and Dayluck and Damasaries and Sin walk up towards the bar. There's also a middle-aged man running behind the bar, wiping things up, getting drinks, things like that. What do you guys do?
I am going to go up to the bar and try to get his barkeep's attention.
Okay.
Me too.
I will do so as well.
I'll actually have a look at the stage.
Okay. Yeah. What Corn is looking at, down at the bottom, it's not really so much a stage as just a circular platform. If you want to go down and look at it, go ahead and roll me perception. Okay, luckily it was. Let's see.
Okay.
You're probably sure that this is not a stage for music, as you do see blood here and there on it.
Ooh, so would I know that it's probably some kind of fighting stage?
Go ahead and roll me insight. Probably.
Karan doesn't care. He goes to the group.
Okay, and as you guys get there, the bartender does notice you all. He says, "How can I help you?"
I told him I would like a glass of milk and room for the night.
He looks over at you and says, 5 copper pieces. And as soon as you say room, the short dwarven lady stops your song and does like a side flip off the barrel and onto the bar and starts walking just straight down to the bar. And then like she kind of picks up pace and then gets into almost a sprint and then slides like on her side to where she's basically like laying on her side with her elbow out, with her hand propping up her head, her other hand on her hip, and she's just laying down on the bar right in front of you guys. She says, "Room, you say?" "Ah," and she like squints her eyes and looks at you, and she's like, "Ah, this must be the group from Celestia, isn't it?"
Indeed we are. Impressive trick there, ma'am.
And she's like, "Ah, that's nothing." And she's like, does like a weird like side spin and literally kicks the guy who was you guys were talking to, like, out of the way. And when she kicks him out of the way, like, the copper piece you gave him, like, flings up in the air and starts flipping, and she just, without even looking, puts her hand out, and the copper pieces land in her hand. Dad.
I actually give him a silver piece.
Oh, a silver piece? Okay, well, then silver piece just lands in her hand, and without even looking. She's like, okay, and she grabs a mug, flips it, and as it's flipping in the air, she reaches down, grabs, like, a little, like, pouring jar, sets it up on the table, grabs the mug, sets it down on the thing, pours it a glass of milk, and slides it towards you.
Thank you very much.
Aye, and she starts rummaging through the back and stuff like that, and she pulls out this gigantic book and slams it down on the table. She's like, okay, so I do have many rooms available for you guys. I was made sure to clear out the way. And she starts flipping through it, and she says, did you guys want individual rooms, or did you guys want to go group rooms? And she's like looking around at you guys. And Dalek's the first one to speak up. He's like, if I could, what is your finest room? And she looks at him, eyes him up and down, and that would be the suite. It usually rooms 10 people. He's like, I'll take it. And she looks at him, and she's like, okay, that's going to be 4 gold a night. And he reaches into his coin purse, and he says, you see him pull out 2 platinum pieces. He says, sets it down, and he says, well, I would like to pay for a few in advance. And she looks at the platinum pieces, and she's like, and she gives him a little wink, puts it in her little coin pouch on her side, and she reaches behind, and she gives him a key. And she's like, that's going to be up on the 2nd floor, all the way at the end of the hallway. And he nods, and he starts traipsing off upstairs.
I tell her I would like a single.
Okay.
Corin's gonna flip him off when he's got his back to him.
Okay. Fair. Let me pull this up real quick. Okay. So does everyone want single rooms?
Yes.
Corin's gonna ask, can I bunk with one of you guys? I kinda don't need a full room.
Conrad will kind of look up, hesitate for a second, like, sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Those getting a room, it is going to cost you 4 silver pieces a night. You guys can pay in advance for the room if you want to, but I mean, it's all up to you.
I'm just gonna pay for one night right now.
Okay.
Me too.
Silver piece. Go ahead and mark that off your sheet.
I'll put in half for our room.
Okay, so Conrad and Corin, it's just going to be 2 silver pieces for you guys.
Did she give me change back for the milk?
No, she didn't.
I'm gonna ask her for my change, please.
Oh, lad, that was for the show, wasn't it? And she gives you like this big old like she smiles at you and like let me roll this real quick. Ooh, okay. She gives you a smile and a wink, and you swear there's like she's glowing a little bit. There's maybe like a twinkle in her eye. You suddenly do not feel like you want to ask for the change. You feel that the show and the smile was worth it.
Okay.
She rolled a nat 20.
Shit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And after a few moments, she writes, goes through the book, and she says, okay, well, since you guys are all arrived, I'll try to put you guys as close together as possible. Conrad and Corin, you guys are going to be on the 2nd floor, last room on the left.
Okay.
Nat, you are going to be on the last room on the right. Cletus, you are going to be the second to the last room on the left. Damus Aries is the 2nd room to the right. And Kosen is going to be the 3rd door from the last on the left.
Wait, which one was I? Wait, which one was I?
You're the first to the last room on the right. Basically, give me a second. I'll pull this up real quick. I'm gonna use the same thing. Boom, boom. Basically, like this. You guys' sitting order right now is basically your room order.
Okay.
Yeah. And she assigned you guys your rooms. And she gives you a key, and she said that key will only last you for the night. If you lose it, it doesn't matter. It's a magic key, so it'll make its way back here regardless. And she gives you guys a wink as she starts handing them out. Well, please do enjoy your stay here. And she points over off into the corner, like a little bit past the. See those oval tables at the back, or towards the bottom?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, past those, there's a very large board. She says, "Be sure to check the board over there for assignments. It's kind of late tonight, so you guys might just want to, enjoy yourselves for the evening. I know that you guys were assigned here to help us out, and that's where you guys are going to get the bulk majority of your work. And do enjoy our fine drinks." And she gives a big old grin. And she reaches over, grabs a bottle, flips up in the air, and without using any hands, she catches the bottle in her mouth and takes like a few big chugs off of it. Like, you can visibly see this liquor bottle, the liquid level just dropping like with each gulp. Like, she literally clears about half of this liquor bottle and then grabs the bottle and slams it down in front of you guys. The finest drinks in all of LOS. And we do have our fighting ring. If any of you guys are feeling a little sluggy, you guys can sign up. The winners do get a share of the take. And, if you guys want to, we bet all night. Basically, anyone who wants to try it. And as you guys see that, you do notice the commotion starting to brew over there. And you see the Dragonborn and a dwarf like kind of pushing each other and stuff like that. They stand up on the stage and people start surrounding it and start yelling out. You see people exchanging coin and stuff like that. And they start, punching it out and duking it out and stuff like that. Okay, so what do you guys do? You guys have the evening all to yourself.
I am going to head to the message board.
Okay.
Conrad is going to order a drink before he heads over to the message board. Because it's late now at this point, right?
Yeah. It's getting towards like 8, 9-ish o'clock.
Yeah, so he'll order a drink and then go to wherever the message board it is.
Okay. Pull that up real quick. So I'm pretty sure I know how much it is. You going just an ale, or you want to get some fine wine?
Ale.
Okay, it's going to be 2 silver pieces.
Done.
Okay, mark it off. And you get it's a pretty goddamn large pitcher. Like, you're used to, like getting pints and stuff like that. Like, this is almost a double pint. Like,
Conrad kind of smiles.
Yeah, for how much you just paid for this gigantic thing, like, it's pretty good. And when you sip it, it's pretty goddamn good. It's basically like a honey mead. So, like, it's kind of sweet. Very, very pretty potent. Like, it's pretty strong alcohol. But it tastes pretty goddamn good.
So Conrad, at the same time, though, he's not like chugging it; he's kind of sipping it. Since he knows it's powerful. Then he'll start heading over to the message board, which I believe is down there.
Yep, that's where Cletus is.
Okay.
Corin, what are you doing?
Corin's just gonna follow for now.
Okay. Nat, what are you doing?
I ask how much the wine is.
Well, for a finest drinks, it's going to cost you 5 gold a bottle. But she reaches behind, and it's a pretty large size bottle.
We actually did get gold that we got yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Sure, I'll take a bottle.
And mark off 5 gold. And she hands you the bottle and actually uncorks it for you, with her teeth, everything, and she like hands it to you. And she's actually kind of surprised that you went straight for the bottle. She actually gives you like a wink and a, like a huge smile.
You have some nice moves out there.
I think it lasts. When you get as old as I am, you learn a few things.
Now it says that's life goals right there.
But you got a long way before you get up into my tier or my realm, lass. She looks at you, and you guys are almost about the same height.
I certainly look forward to it.
And she like eyes you over. She's like, "Well, I know you're an elf folk, but you might struggle to get to be as old as I am."
That's fair. And I hold out the bottle of wine.
Go ahead and roll me a nature check if you would like.
Yeah.
If you want.
Probably gonna lose this roll too. Better.
Okay. This woman's a dwarf. Dwarfs do not live that long. Elves outlive dwarfs all the time, but she's saying that you could live your entire life and not be as old as her.
Oh, now I feel bad.
Why do you feel bad?
It's I feel bad that I'm gonna outlive her.
She's saying that she's older than elves get.
Oh.
She's saying that even with your long life as an elf, you probably won't make it to the age she is now.
Okay. Is this bottle of wine big enough to share?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I asked her if she wants some.
And she's like, she looks at you. She's like, lass, I own this place. You don't need to share. And she actually grabs 2 bottles and just starts pouring them into her mouth. She like her whole mouth is full, and like she just closes her mouth, closes her eyes, and she shakes her head real quick and like shakes up the liquid. You can hear it sloshing around and just chugs it all in one gulp. And she's like, that's what I call the spinning tornado. And she just starts going back over. She slams both bottles down and goes back over to the group of people who were, singing and being merry. And she starts singing and stuff like that. And she starts talking with them.
Madeline is impressed. And I drink a little bit of the wine bottle.
Okay. You just gonna sit at the bar and drink?
For now, yes.
Okay. Cletus and Conrad, you see the message board. You see 6 different parchments on here right now. Do you want me to go into full detail, or you just want to eye them up and see what's available?
I'd like full detail.
Full detail?
Same.
Okay, let me pull this up real quick. As soon as I can remember where the hell I put it. And that's the one downside of having a lot of stuff, is sometimes you forget where you put stuff. Oh, there it is. Okay. All of these, they have the same person for assignment, and it is Lord Ravon of Letest. The first one is to the east, past the docks and on the eastern coast. There have been missing fishermen and a lot of equipment and stuff from fishermen being stolen. There have been few reports of some of the fishermen who go out there disappearing. There was one family that was missing. It is requiring someone to venture out there and investigate what is going on, find the missing fishermen, and stop whatever is happening over there. Basically, it is going to be 200 gold for finding the fishermen, and another 100 gold for just investigating what is causing it. It is 10 gold ahead for ne'er-do-wells that you find. So basically, if you investigate it and you figure out who or what is doing it, and you stop them and you bring back heads for proof, it's going to be 10 gold ahead. And 500 gold payment for stopping the event in its totality. So basically, if you find the fishermen, you basically how it is if you investigate the problem and figure out what's going on, you get 100 gold. If you investigate it and find the fishermen, you get 300 gold. If you investigate it, you find the fishermen, and you stop what's happening, you get 800 gold plus 10 gold ahead for whatever you kill that was causing it. And they need proof of life or death of fishermen for you to get paid for the finding the fishermen. And it needs a written report of the investigation and stopping it. So you can't just go out there and kill stuff, and you need to report it, and then the guards will survey the areas that you went to, and then you will receive the payment. Okay. And the next one is missing farmers. The farming areas around Letest, people have been missing. This one is just 100 gold to locate any signs of the missing farmer. And that's all that one is. Then there is a hunting one. And the east side of the forest, there is a... Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't have it. Where the hell is it? Okay, I gotta go find something real quick.
Mm-hmm.
No wonder I couldn't find it. My dog knocked it off the thing. Okay. Let me pull this up. It says to the east at the Io docks on Lake Io. Between Letest and Lake Io, there have been signs of beasts, goblins, lower intelligent animals or creatures and stuff, like basically causing issues with transportation of goods from Letest to Io Lake. And it's basically a hunting quest to quell the numbers out there. And it's offering 10 gold ahead. It's a pretty just straightforward thing. It lists off some of the things that you might run into, or things that they've seen. It lists off animals. It lists off goblins. It lists off ogres. It lists off a few other things. That go ahead and roll me a nature check. Okay, not corn, or yet. Oh wait, no, Corn is over there. I forgot he's on his bed. Okay. None of you guys recognize the name of these creatures? Or what they are? I mean, there's a few of them that you guys just are like, nah, I don't know what that is, but comparing them to the other ones in the list, they seem like something that you guys could handle. Doesn't seem like too crazy. The most threatening sounding one is the ogres. You guys know that ogres can, they're big and dumb, but they can be pretty potent. And okay. And the other one is the last one is sorry, there was only 4, not 5. The last one was locate alchemist Sir Frump. It is a missing persons for the previous mayor, Sir Frump. And it is a 20,000 gold reward for finding and locating him.
What was his name?
Sir Frumpt. Frumpt. And below it actually has and you're not quite sure if someone drew it or what, but there is an actual image of him on the actual assignments, which I didn't add yet, so let me go ahead and add that. And I'll continue with the rest of the information on it. Basically, they have no leads. He disappeared 6 months ago. He could just completely vanish, no signs of a struggle. He had really no enemies or anything. He was a good mayor to the town, and he suddenly vanished. How much gold did I say?
20,000.
Okay, that's what I thought, because I accidentally just deleted it. I'm like, oh no. Like, wait, what was it again? I'm like,
200,000 actually.
Yeah, you guys could have taken advantage of me on that one. Okay, there we go. And it's weird because it's like ye old times is you usually have like paintings and stuff of people. This almost your players wouldn't know this, but it almost looks like like the old school like still photos that they used to take like in like the late 1800s. It's kind of like black and white, but you could see all the details and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it kind of looks like. It's almost like a still photo shot of him. It doesn't really look drawn, but like honestly, your characters have never seen anything like that. But it's pretty damn realistic. Let me go ahead and boop and boop. This is the picture it shows.
Wow.
Neat.
And it is actually that exact picture. It is him holding bottles and stuff like that, like working at some warehouse. And looking at the background, you do recognize that as the office of Ravon. The office that you were in, it's the same place.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the current assignments.
Got it.
So one question I had is in regards to the missing sailor job and the hunting monsters on the sea job.
Yes.
Are they both located in the same area?
How it works is the fisherman one was on the east coast side of Letest. The hunting one is the forest to the west.
Okay.
Oh, wait, flip those, sorry. The east. Wow, I'm literally staring at the map and I still got it wrong.
That's why I was kind of confused.
Yeah, the west side is where the fishermen are, and the east side is where the forest is.
Okay.
Okay.
And after few moments, you actually see Sin walk up to the board, and you guys didn't notice this, but actually, wait. Go ahead and. Let me see. Sorry, because I kind of backtracked because I completely forgot this was going to happen. Now, you did see Sin kind of walk out of the tavern like 5 or 10 minutes ago, and you did see him walk back in. And he comes traipsing up towards the board with you guys. And he starts eyeing over the stuff. And upon looking at the boards, he pulls out this piece of paper and he starts looking at it and looking up at the board. You guys want to see what the paper is?
Yes.
Sure.
It's a map.
Map would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I'm just going to give this out since you guys are seeing it now. You guys see it?
Yes.
Yeah. And one thing that is not on that map that you're seeing is there is like a little legend in the bottom, and basically all the X's are major cities. It does not have the names of any of the cities on there. It just shows X's for cities, and the little dots are actually major cavern entrances to the Underdark in the cave system under Elwillis. And he's looking up at the board, looking down at this. He's like, I didn't have enough money for the fancy map, but I guess this will work. And, he's kind of eyeballs it. Basically, he points out, he's pointing at the upper left corner of the map, the most north and west of the map. That is Letest up there. And so basically, that forest to the east of you guys is going to be where the hunting one is, and to the west is where that forest is towards the coast. That's where the fisherman quest is. And the farmlands is basically to the direct east, southeast. But you guys saw the farms on your way in here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And all the boards say that to report to why can't I think of what it's called? The guards hold to report any successful completions of contracts. So that big stone building that you guys saw.
Okay, so Conrad would kind of, after he's done reading, would kind of say generally to everybody, so what do you guys think so far?
And actually, at that point, Janissaries also walks up behind you guys, carrying 2 gigantic pints of beer. And he looks at it, and he kind of looks at it, and he's like, "Well, what do you guys think?" And he's staring at the board. If anyone's paying attention to Janissaries at the board, you guys can go ahead and roll insight if you want.
I'm too far away.
I'm going to.
Nope.
Cletus and Corrin, he doesn't actually seem to be reading it, but he's kind of like, he's staring at the board, kind of blankly, like nodding. Corrin, you don't know if he can read.
I'm gonna keep that to myself.
And like he kind of like leans over, kind of in between Sinkos and Cletus's shoulders, like, so. Which one sounds the best to you guys?
I say, well, the one in the ocean, I wouldn't be very much use. The the one about the missing farmers or the one about hunting creatures like
Hold up a second. You went. Hold up. Just stop real quick. You went all robot-y. Drop the call and rejoin back in.
Can you hear me now?
Yep. Okay. What were you saying?
So I was saying the one in the ocean, I probably wouldn't be a very good use.
You're talking about the fisherman one?
Mm-hmm.
It's on the coast. It's not actually in the ocean.
Oh, well. Regardless, I don't express much interest in that one. But the one about the missing farmers and the hunting one sound quite interesting to me.
I kind of agree. That's what Carr says. The missing fisherman one seems like it could take a good deal of time, and our assignment is to try to get these as many of these issues off the board as possible.
Okay.
I'd probably go for the one with the giant pink bunny rabbit. Wouldn't you agree?
The what? Conrad just kind of does a double take.
Yeah, right there. He's just gonna point to a random one.
Are you talking to Damus Harris?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Damus Harris, I've never killed a large bunny before. I'm sure a large bunny would meet its end just the same as any other creature before me.
Yeah, but it's pink. Those are very strong.
Oh, I didn't see that detail. Pink, red, black, white, it doesn't matter. All would fall before my hammer. And he kind of straightens up a little bit.
I heard they can spit fire.
Does Oh, okay. Well, you guys can discuss that, and just let me know which one you guys think would be a good one. And he starts walking towards the fighting pit.
Corn's gonna wink at the others.
Between what your insight rolls and what Corn just did, now it's obvious to everyone sitting there. Daemissaries don't know how to read.
Poor Daemissaries.
Yeah.
And Sin, after looking at all of them, he actually speaks up and he says, "I know we need to get done as many as possible. But that doesn't mean that we just need to go for the easy ones. Because, I mean, it seems like the fisherman one seems like it would be an easier one to do. If it's along the coast, all we have to do is travel along the coast. Whereas the hunting ones, I mean, you saw how big those forest areas were. That's a pretty large area. And just for 10 gold a head, I mean, it's not a lot of gold."
I'd probably want to go for the one with the fisherman, just because we don't know whether they're in danger or not. It might be urgent.
And Sid actually looks over. He said, "Yeah, actually, I have a point there. I mean, any of the ones that with missing people. I mean, yeah, that Surf Rump one just seems. Yeah, I mean, that could be anywhere or anything. So I don't think that would be a good one for us. But I mean, the missing farmers or the fisherman one seems like it would help the people of Letest better because it involves people."
Well, if that's the case, Conrad says, the fisherman one seems to be the more pressing, because not only is this one currently missing, but it also seems like it's a continuous problem.
Well, it's fishermen. There's more than one fisherman that's been missing.
Yeah, but that's what Conrad's saying.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure it was clear that that's what it said. And Sin looks over at all three of you and he says, "Well, either way, we can decide in the morning." Like, I'm going to get myself a drink. And he starts moseying over to the bar and gets himself something to drink.
Conrad sips a bit more of his, and then he pats Cletus on the shoulder. "Come on, let's go to the bar. Get us something to drink."
I show him my mug of ale. I'm already good. I'm gonna head over to the fighting area.
Out of character, I thought you had milk.
Milk.
Is that what I said?
Yeah, you got milk.
Yeah. I have milk. My bad. If I said something else.
Yeah, you said ale.
My bad.
As you're making your way to the bar, Sin actually runs back over towards the fighting area as well. Okay.
Wait, so is corn still on my head?
Yeah, corn's still on your head.
So Connor would kind of, ask Corn what he wanted to do. See the fight or go back to the bar?
Probably see the fight.
Okay, and then Conrad starts heading to the fighting pit.
Okay. And as you guys are all grouping up over there, the fight between the Dragonborn and the dwarf is coming towards the end. Like, they're kind of swaying back and forth. They got the Dragonborn's like lower jaw's all bruised up and kind of swollen. The dwarf, like his eye, he can't really see out his left eye, and he's just sitting there like they're both swaggering, and like they throw the last like punch, and it's like barely moving, and it's almost like not even a punch, more like just like a push. And then the Dragonborn like goes to like punch at the dwarf and just falls over, and then like he's like on his knees, and the dwarf goes to like rain down a haymaker, stops, burps, like he does that like almost like he's gonna look like he's puking thing, and he's like lets out a really loud belch and just falls over and lands on his back. And the Dragonborn, seeing this, like raises his hand, and there's a middle-aged man like kind of standing off to the side. He's like, "Oh, we have a winner!" And he walks over on the stage and he helps the Dragonborn to his feet, and raising his hand and stuff like that. The Dragonborn's kind of like reaching down towards his ribs. And, they're both pretty messed up, and he's a couple of the dwarves come over and like help the other dwarf like over. They bring him over to this one of the chairs sitting by. There's like a good 15, 20 people over here like sitting around this circle. And after a few moments, a younger kid comes around and like kind of wipes up the floor area a little bit and with like a towel. And after a few moments, people are exchanging gold and stuff like that. And okay, and it's the same man. He's like, while our town champion is currently away, we don't really have any more scheduled fights. So, do we have any takers for this evening? Anyone want to step in the ring? Show us what you got. And like he starts looking around, and you see a couple groups of guys like, yeah, why don't you get in there? Why don't you get in there? No, like trying to egg their friends and stuff on.
I step up.
Okay, and
I'll take a crack at it.
And at the same time, Demosaries raises his hands and steps forward.
Let's do this, Demosaries.
And he looks over and sees you stepping forward, and he gives you like a good like smile, like, yeah, let's do this. And the older gentleman sees you guys stepping over. He's like, oh, we have two very fine specimens this evening. You guys might want to get. He addresses the crowd. You guys all might want to get your coin purses ready, because this one seems like it's going to be a match of titans. And he's trying to like hype up the crowd and stuff like that. And he comes walking over to you as everyone's talking, and he gets go close. He's like, okay, I you guys are new here, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well we only got a couple simple rules. Okay, no magic and no weapons. Okay, you keep going until one of you guys gives up, the other one falls flat on his ass, or we call it. If you fall on the ground, we'll give you a few moments to try to recover, but if you're knocked out or anything, you're definitely out. If you do happen to stumble upon the ring, we ask that the other person allow the person to enter back in, because it's not the best ring, and he kind of points at the stage, and you can see that if you got towards the edge, it would be kind of easy to accidentally fumble out. So he looks at you, Cletus. Do you understand the rules?
Yes, I do.
And he looks at Demosaries. Do you understand the rules? And Demosaries picks up both of his mugs, downs them both at once. And it's a little wood mugs, and he tosses them over his shoulder empty. He's like, wipes the little remnants of beard off his little chin beard, and he's like, let's do this. And
can Madeline come over to watch?
yeah. And as he finishes, he goes, okay, everyone, place your bets. And he points over towards this other middle-aged gentleman. He's kind of short, dirty blonde hair, walking around, and like he's taking bets and stuff like that. And he's basically walking around in the circle and taking money from people. And eventually, he makes his way towards like you guys. He walks up to Sin, and Sin hands him a coin, and he walks over towards Conrad, Corin, and Nat, and he says, will you be placing any bets?
I have a quick question for you as a DM. How would you rule bard magic when I try to do it stealthily?
Basically, you'd have to use a stealth check to see if you could cast it without someone seeing it.
Okay, so if I cast, for example, Vicious Mockery, if I succeed in the stealth check, nobody would notice that I did.
Yes.
Okay. I'll put 1 gold on Deimos Ares.
Okay. Conrad?
Conrad will put 1 gold on Cletus.
Okay. Okay, wait, let me mark this down real quick so I can keep track of all this. Let me just make a notepad real quick. Why is this taking forever for the notepad? Oh, there it goes. Then... Okay, Corin, 1. And who did you say, Conrad?
Cletus.
1 gold?
Yep.
Okay, and Nat?
I'll put a goal on Deimos.
To you.
Yeah, I'll put a goal on Deimos Ares.
Okay. Okay, and he finishes going around the circle and stuff like that, and once he gets through everyone, he gives a nod towards the other men, and he stands in between you guys, and he's like, "Okay, let's have ourselves a nice, clean fight, and may the best Titan win." And he like raises his hand and starts stepping back. I need you to roll. I need you to roll initiative.
First, I'm gonna roll Unstoppable.
Wait, hold on a second. Okay. Let me assign you guys' health real quick. I didn't know you guys were going to be wanting to participate so quickly in this. Okay, I'm setting up the blue bar for temporary HP for you.
Okay.
Okay. And how much is that bonus again?
I got 11.
Oh, I gotta double check what the power is. Oh yeah, 1d6, 2d6 plus your Constitution modifier. Sorry about that. Okay. So that's 11. Okay, so you got 2 bars, right?
Yep.
Okay. And pull up. Gotta make sure I got emissary shit ready too. Okay. Go ahead and roll me initiative.
I did.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's your dex?
My dex?
Yeah.
14.
Okay, you go first.
All right.
And you'll see in your powers, you now have unarmed strike.
Okay. I'm going to start with Goring Charge.
Okay. Give me a second, because I gotta double check damage to make sure I don't have to adjust anything from one to the other. Go in charge. It is. Okay, yeah, that's good. Okay. And as soon as he waves his hand, you all see Letest kind of snarl out his nose, and he just kind of leans down and starts charging right towards Jaemissaries and just rams him right in the gut. And Jaemissaries, he kind of takes it a little bit, like he kind of tightens up and stuff like that, and you get him pretty good. And as soon as you do that, he lets out a mighty roar, and you look, and anyone who can see, probably Cletus the best, you see as his eyes widen, and you see the veins in his body start poking out, and you swear he almost gets slightly larger. And as soon as he does that, he's going to and strength modifier. Okay, so, and he's going to, as he's screaming, he pulls back his fist and he just rams it right down into your face.
Okay.
And let me see, his strength is 5, so he deals 11 damage to you. And he gains what back? Okay, so he gets 5. Okay. And remember, since it's you take that damage off your temporary HP first, and then whatever carries over goes towards your health.
Mm-hmm. That's what I did.
Okay. It's your turn.
All right. I'm gonna punch him as hard as I can in his face.
Okay. Okay, and you go to swing at him, and he just brings up his arm, and he just completely blocks it.
Yep.
Okay. And he is gonna try to retaliate with another punch. Dealing 9 damage, and he just brings his fist across and knocks you pretty damn hard.
Okay. Go right back into it. Go for a body shot.
Okay. Yeah, you go and you punch him, and you guys are both pretty stacked, so it's almost like you've punched people before, and it's a little different punching Jaemissaries. It's almost like you guys are both punching rocks. You guys are just both rigid, and you hit him, and he reels back a little bit, but he kind of takes it. You're not quite sure what's going on with him, but he seems to be almost in a separate state of mind. He's just not you see his body reeling from stuff, but it's he's not noticing the pain at all.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as you do that, he reels back again, and just rams right into you again. And that's and you kind of see it coming, and you're able to like sidestep out of the way a little bit and parry his punch. Go ahead and it's your turn.
Okay, I'm gonna go for headshot again.
Okay. Let me see. 1d4 plus. Your strength modifier is 5, right?
Strength modifier.
You got
Yes.
20 strength. Okay. So that's actually going to be 9 damage. Okay. And he's that was a good hit. Like, you punch him and like you said it was a headshot.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you punch him, it almost feels like his jaw slightly dislocates. And as soon as you do that, like he just stares at you and like grabs his jaw and pushes it back into place. And with his other hand, he just comes down and hammers right on you. But you kind of saw it coming, and you just kind of put up your arm and you stop it.
Okay. And I immediately go for another body shot.
Okay. And you go to punch him, and he actually grabs it with his hand and stops it. And with his other hand, he's going to go out and try to punch you back. What's your AC?
17.
Okay. You kind of like, move it toward, you punch it, and you kind of like get your scale mail in the way a little bit. So, like, it doesn't really connect really that hard. Go ahead.
All right. I go for another headshot, same place I hit last time.
Okay. And again, like, you strike it, and like his jaw is like pretty loose at this point. Like, he's kind of reeling on just a little bit. And seeing that, like, he's lets out another roar. And he's charges you, and he sprints forward, pushing you back. And you were knocked back 5 feet, and he just like it's a really big wind up. He pulls through and just punches you, and like it pushes you back quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Try to take off that damage.
Don't I not take damage because I match with AC?
Oh, God damn it! Why can't I remember that rule? Because I would just want to double check, because I know different editions have different rules for matching and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Madeline says, "Woo! Take it off." While I drink my bottle of wine.
This is actually something I was supposed to look up, and I completely fucking forgot to. Attacks and defenses. Okay.
Also, while the fight is going on, you can
Yes,
see Conrad.
higher or equal to the score is a success. So that does
Okay.
land.
Okay.
And what were you saying?
I was just saying, you see Conrad cheering, Cletus's name as like the fight goes. That's all.
Okay.
I yell at Damus Ares. I see I'm not the only one who can charge. And then I go for another body shot.
Ooh, and he's completely ready for it. He grabs it, and like he just stops it dead in your tracks. And seeing that, he's going to make another wipe at you. And did I just lose my window? Yes, I lost my window. There it goes. Okay, and he just rails right into you again. It's a mighty blow. Like, you're starting to feel it now. Like, both of you are kind of blood. I mean, you guys are bleeding. You guys are bruised. Like, his jaw is like really bruised. He's mostly just been taking body shots at you, and you can feel like he may have cracked a rib on that last one.
Okay. Yeah, I'm bloodied now.
Yeah. So, your turn.
And go for another headshot.
Okay. And you hit him, and like he's staggering a bit now. Like, you can tell, like he's getting pretty close to it. And he is going to. All right. Oh wait. Never mind. When you attack, you hit him, and it's the same spot, but you feel like that just didn't do as much. Like he's kind of almost like he resisted it a little bit. Like, you're not quite sure, like what the difference was, but you can tell like it didn't have as much of an impact to like, his strength or his like his stamina at this point. Like he took it in stride, like perfectly in stride. Like it really didn't do much to him. And after that, he's gonna hit you again, and you're ready for it. You take it in stride.
Okay, I'm going for a body shot on the other side that I haven't hit yet.
Okay. And you blast him, and like he reels back a little bit, but he's still standing. You guys are it's a match of titans right now. Oh damn. And like you think it might just because he's tired right now. Like, cause a lot of his attacks are kind of swinging wildly. Yours are kind of like a little bit more precision. Like tapping on his face, tapping on his sides, and stuff like that. So you think that you're kind of wearing him down a little bit because his attacks are becoming even more wide.
Okay. I'm gonna go for a headshot on the other side of his head.
Okay. And like he, like just then, like you go to punch him, and like he just kind of like you don't know whether he dodged or like he's just stumbling, but he like moves back and it just completely misses him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and he just goes for another body shot on you and just blasts you. Right, and at this point, you guys are both just like you guys are like the dwarf in the Dragonborn right now. Like you guys are both staggering like quite a bit. Okay, your turn.
I'm gonna go for another headshot on the.
Okay. You go to make the headshot, and like he just goes and parries it with his arm, and as he parries it with his right hand, he just goes in for a right hook. And it's kind of a half-hearted punch, like it just kind of falls short. You really don't even have to like dodge out of the way. Like it's just
Yeah. Alright, I'm going for a body shot.
Like again, like you go for that body shot, and like you've already you've been going left right on the body shot, so like he's getting kind of used to your mix up on it, so like he's able to dodge right out of the way. And when he dodges, he's gonna go for he's actually gonna try to knee you, and he knees you right in the gut.
Yep. And I'm out of HP.
Okay, you guys watch as Damasaries, like they're both staggering, punches, misses, and then Damasaries almost like he just grabs him and like like lunges forward with his knee right into Cletus's gut, and Cletus just falls over backwards, lands right over there. And Demonstrators, he's standing, but he's pretty messed up. Like his jaw looks like it's still dislocated. And as soon as you hit the ground, the older guy comes up and he's, we have a winner! And he raises Demonstrators' hand, and Demonstrators is grabbing his gut just like the Dragonborn. Like you rocked his gut. Like he's definitely probably has some bruised or broken ribs.
Yeah.
And a couple of the dwarves walk up to you, and they kind of drag you over here to this chair, sit you up, and you can't tell this, but suddenly you're snapped to consciousness. Go ahead and roll that for them. There it is. You are now up to 4 HP, and you are conscious.
All right. I'm going to attempt to stand up.
Yeah, I mean you can. You're a little wobbly and stuff like that, and Damus Aries, guys raising his hand and stuff like that, and seeing that you're awake, he's gonna, step down to you, and he's gonna extend out his hand.
Mm-hmm. I walk over to him and I shake his hands. Very good fight, man.
Yeah, it's one of those manly Arnold Schwarzenegger clasp wrists, and he's actually gonna, as soon as you do that, he's actually gonna pull you in. Are you gonna let him pull you in?
Yes.
Okay, he's gonna pull you in. He's gonna kind of get close to your ear. He's like, I haven't had a fight like that since I was a child. Brings back memories, and he pats on your back and stuff like that. And he looks over and he's like, get us a few ales. And one of the dwarf guys look over, everyone in this room is that was a fight. They're all raising their hands, screaming, stuff like that. A whole bunch of guys there's a few guys who walk up and tap your shoulders oh man, don't feel bad, that was an amazing fight.
Yeah, when he has a few ales and I yell, and I'm milk too. And
the dwarf that went to go grab the drinks looks back, he gives a weird look, but he's yeah, and he goes over. And the same guy who was taking bets walks over and to Sin, Corin and Nat. Corin and Nat, you guys get 5 gold.
Nice.
So you guys gained 4 gold. You guys paid 1 gold and you guys got 5 gold back. So you gained 4 gold. And you can see Sin, he's getting quite a bigger chunk of gold than you guys back. And you guys got 4 gold coins. He got, if you guys want to try to look to see what he had, but he had a stack of gold back.
I wouldn't mind trying to see.
Your best, roll me perception.
Here we go again.
Alright.
What did you get?
I got a 20. Not now.
Okay. Your best guess is it's about 15 gold he just won.
Oh, lucky. Yeah, he probably put more money, so.
Yeah. And Conrad, the guy just passes you.
Yep.
And Damon Sayers is gonna kind of keep his arm around your shoulder, Cletus, and kind of walk you towards the bar.
Let him lead me over there.
Okay. And you guys are messed up.
Just a bit.
One punch.
Yeah. No, that was not really a 1 punch. That was just 2 titans beating them out.
Hey, you see one punch. You gotta.
Yeah.
Who of the two looks more messed up?
Right now, it's gonna be Cletus definitely looks a little bit more worse for wear.
Yep, I'm the one that lost, so.
Okay, I'll cast Majestic Word on him.
Okay.
1 second.
Okay, Cletus, you gain back 5 HP.
Got it.
Okay, so at this point, like, you guys are able to stand pretty good right now. Damasaries is still kind of grabbing his ribs a little bit because, you know, those precision strikes really, he's going to be feeling it in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And this would also count as a short rest, so if you do want to spend any healing surges to get any health back, you can.
Yeah, I'll use a healing surge.
Okay.
Can I use more than one?
Sure.
Okay, I will use 3 of them.
Nat, Corn, and Conrad, are you guys just going to stay by the fight pit?
No,
Nat nudges Conrad with a cat-like grin and just says, "You should go next."
No way, Conrad says.
You do after a few moments, you do see one guy step up. He just seems like an average man. He's just a human, middle age. He's next challenger.
Conrad makes it clear that he has no interest in actually participating.
And the older man who's been running the fights kind of looks towards you guys. Sees the pixie, looks at Conrad, and he looks at Nat, and he's like, "Eh."
Nat, go.
Yeah, Nat, why don't you go?
Okay.
Okay, Nat, you step up.
She just takes off her scarf and just gives it to Conrad. Hold that.
Okay.
Conrad will kind of chuckle.
Okay, give me just one quick second. Okay.
Also, Conrad's gonna get another beer, just for this fight alone.
Okay.
I'll narc off another 2 silver. Sorry.
Might as well finish my wine since I'm up here.
Okay. Are you gonna finish your wine?
Yes.
Okay.
I need an endurance check. Two of them.
Jack.
Okay, give me one more.
Okay.
It's a big bottle of wine.
Fair enough.
Okay, so. Okay, you're drunk. Okay, and upon seeing that Nat is stepping up, wrong person. Emissaries is gonna want to come down. And again, the guy's surprised that, oh, young lady, you like to step in the ring.
I mean, sure.
Okay. And I don't really have a token for it, but just imagine some guys there. Okay, well, we have here, we have Trevor. He's, you guys know him, you love him. He didn't have the best of luck in the last time he entered the ring. And his challenger is, and he leans over, what's your name, Les?
Nadalin.
And we have Nadalin, the fiery red firecracker. And we'll be taking bets, and we'll begin shortly. And he goes over the same rules as he did with the other ones. No magic, no weapons. And the guy goes around the circle, and first he gets to Cletus, and for bets.
And then I'll put 10 gold on Trevor.
Fair enough.
I saw you drink that wine.
Okay, Damasaries puts in, he rummages through his purse again, and he kind of eyeballs what you'd put in, and he kind of grabs the same amount, and he kind of looks at you, and he's like, let's see if I win this one too. And he's like, I'll put it on the girl. I mean, you guys are gonna start having a bro challenge.
I'm already loving their bro ship.
And Sin puts in some gold.
Corin's actually gonna put 15 on that.
Okay.
Conrad will put 5 gold on the other guy.
Traitor.
Okay. Before we get into this fight, we're gonna have a quick 5-10 minute bio break. So we'll begin as soon as we finish.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
They don't trust in the net.
It's alright. I haven't talked to the Minotaur that much. Or at all, really.
Ugh. God damn, that was a close fight. I honestly had no clue who was gonna win between Cletus and Janissaries. Like, you guys are pretty evenly matched.
Damus Ares is around the same level we are, or
Yeah,
Oh, I
he's the same exact level.
it just seemed a little bit more experienced when we first saw him.
No, I mean, it's, people have different upbringings, different backgrounds and stuff like that, but he is a level 2 just like you guys. And it was honestly his barbarian stuff that saved him from that fight.
That's what I figured.
Yeah. Barbarians and their rages, man. They're
It's funny, because since we're on this little pause, that Nadlin mentioned me potentially going in. I was wondering, how do my at-will spells work in regards to unarmed strikes?
no, you just have an unarmed strike.
Oh, so they wouldn't work at all.
No. Yeah. Because that is it's magic. You would literally cast a spell with your at-wills.
Okay. I was just curious.
Wait, did you say for Nat?
I was saying for me.
Oh,
For
for
combat.
yours, like twin strike and stuff like that. I would have to say no. Because your training with twin strike is with swords and a bow. You're not really like a fighter, because there's a few moves that fighters, barbarians, and a few other people can get that are a little bit more generic. I was actually waiting for Cletus to use his bell ringer.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
It's a much needed bio break.
Yeah, don't worry. I was on my brink end too, and I was like, oh, this fight needs to hurry up.
It was a long fight.
Yeah.
You guys are pretty evenly matched.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's just a different type of class. That's the only reason why Janissaries was able to win out, is because barbarians, man, they're.
Yep.
Honestly, it was he dealt less damage overall than you, but it was his rage ability that kept him in the fight.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because he gets temporary HP every single time he hits with that rage. So some of your attacks, he was just soaking up the damage.
Yeah. Yeah, I used my thing at the beginning. I'm like, I'm probably gonna need this.
No, I mean, if something like that one, yeah, you can use that at the beginning, because once it's gone, it's gone. But for his, it's every single attack that he lands, he gets temporary HP equal to his strength modifier.
Yeah. Which I'm sure is pretty high.
It's the same as yours.
Pretty high.
Yeah, you guys are both the strong men of the group.
Yep.
What's his strength modifier at?
Huh?
Mine's
It's a number. Unless Conrad wants to, or unless Cletus wants to say it is.
It's 5.
Yeah, they both have 20 strength. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, everyone back?
Roll call.
Yeah, roll call.
Yeah.
Nat.
Here.
Conrad.
Here.
Corin.
Yeah.
Cletus.
Yeah.
Okay, get ready for the fight. Okay, let me get out my dice real quick because I gotta roll for this guy. And you guys get ready. The guy, looks over at Trevor and he's like, "Are you ready?" And he's like nods, and he has his fist up, and he looks at you now. Are you ready?
Yeah. Bring my fist up, and I just bring it back down. Like, yeah!
Okay, go ahead and roll initiative.
I'm actually gonna join initiative as well. Goran.
In the what?
Goran's actually gonna join initiative as well.
Okay.
Which one? Just click the avatar?
Yeah. Oh no, don't worry about it. Just roll initiative. We're not doing a turn order on this one. I'm keeping track of it myself.
Let's go, Trevor.
Madeline says, "Can't let the giants have all the fun." And I wink at those two.
I wink back.
Okay, Nat, let me get the initiative.
Would that be in stats? Oh wait, there it is.
Yeah, just initiative. Click the number. Okay, who has the higher dex? I think it's Corin.
I've got dex score of.
Yeah,
70.
you're higher. I just remember what Nat's dex score is. Okay,
Man,
Corin.
2 ties of her initiative.
Corin, you're up first.
I'm actually gonna sit tight for now.
Okay, Nat, you're up.
I go to land a punch on him.
Okay, go ahead and roll me unarmed strike.
Work the body.
Okay, you go and swing, and like he, parries it. Like he puts up his fist, and as soon as he parries it, he's gonna go for a punch. And like you just see it coming. Like you just dodge out of the way, and you're able to sidestep it a little bit. Corin, you're up.
I'm gonna use Vicious Mockery.
Okay, go ahead and roll me stealth.
Okay.
Okay. As soon as you go to cast it, the man who's been leading the fight looks over at you, and he's like, "Hey, you! None of that!
Sorry, I just get too excited sometimes.
If I see it again, you're going to be barred from this establishment, and I have Madame's permission to do so."
Okay.
Conrad kind of
25.
shakes his head.
25 doesn't actually work.
Yeah, no. This guy he's all his job is to watch.
Eagle eyes.
Eagle eyes. That's all he does. His passive perception was higher. I could have rolled and got even higher too, but his passive perception alone.
Damn.
Yeah.
So
You guys got to remember, not everyone in this world is level 1 or 2.
Yeah. Okay, I'm out of initiative.
Okay, so you're
I'm
back
not
up.
gonna try it
Okay.
again.
Nat, you're up.
I go to land another punch. Or try to.
Okay, and he parries it and just pushes it out of his way. He's gonna go in for another punch, and like he goes in for a body shot, and you just like take a slight step back, and it completely misses.
Alright, now I go for another one.
Okay. You reel back and you punch him square in the nose, and like he just goes cross-eyed for a second and falls down on his ass.
Get up, Trevor.
And the guy like waits a few moments. And he's like, "And we have a winner, the fiery firecracker!" And he holds up his hand.
That one's like, eh?
Trevor, you suck.
Conrad yells, "Damn it!"
I believed in you. Good job, Nat.
Okay, I'm gonna show you guys something just to let you know what Nat had to deal with. because I didn't know that she was gonna fight him, and I was just getting ready for just two of these guys to fight each other. But this is what she had to deal with.
Do I get to see? Is it or no?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna show it to you too.
Yay!
I'm gonna post this in Discord. Let me grab my snipping tool.
Hey, expect the unexpected.
Yeah. No. It's low initiative. This guy just had low initiative.
Welcome to the unexpectables. Wait.
No. Come on now.
Guy had
Okay,
low
that-
initiative and like no health. I mean, jeez.
Yeah. There you guys go.
Ouch.
How much HP does he have? Oh my god.
HP 1.
Should have known better.
Yep. I mean, you know, Nat ain't no pushover herself. Like I think she's the second strongest physically out of the group.
That sure hides something. No.
Yeah. Okay. So as far as gold goes, the man starts walking around, and you know the dwarves pick up the Trevor, and they just kind of smack him. They're like, "How you gonna let a wee lass knock you on your ass like that?" And he's like, "Oh no, I don't know." Like he's just.
Trevor, you suck.
Yeah, like his nose is completely like it looks broken. It's like bruised all the way around his eyes. There's blood coming out of his nose. You can tell by tomorrow this is gonna just be like his entire like eye line and like around his nose. It's just gonna be like that one like just deep purple, green, and just bad bruise all around his nose. And that nose is definitely broken.
Has it been 5 minutes since I last used Majestic Word?
I would say a couple more minutes and then you'd be able to use it.
Okay, then once it's up, I'm gonna heal Trevor.
Okay.
You did fine out of there.
Okay. And you heal him, stuff like that, but his nose is still broken.
Oh. Poor guy.
Yeah, it's not even like a slight crack or anything. Like his nose is completely pointing one way. Like his nose is pointing towards his ear. Now you smashed this man's face in. Any more damage, and he probably would have had a concave face.
Nan steps out the ring over to Conrad, putting her hand out. Scarf, please.
Conrad just kind of meekly gives it to her.
Okay.
Thank you. Just wraps that back around.
Okay.
Conrad's gonna whisper to Conrad, "You just got served."
Okay. Corin. All right. Double check this real quick. You gotta do the math. You got 45 gold.
Okay.
And that's it. That's the only person who got gold. Well, Daemosaries and Sin both get a stack of gold as well.
Did I get gold too?
Huh? Yeah. After the fight, the guy walks over and he's like, "Okay, is that all the fights?" And you know the crowd dies down, and he actually walks over to Daemosaries and Nat. Nat, you're gonna get 75.
Okay.
And I'll just mark Daemosaries down. And Cletus, he's actually going to give you 5 gold. He's going to walk over and he's going to extend his hand to you.
Mm-hmm.
And when you clasp it, you can feel that gold in his hand. And he's like, "You can come back whenever you want."
Got it.
And then the guy walks over towards the Trevor, and they just start making fun of him.
Poor Trevor.
Hate you, Trevor.
Conrad, man, you just Ugh. This is not your night, is it?
It is not. So Conrad is.
It's never Conrad's night.
It's never Conrad's night.
Shut up. So Conrad is first going to get some food in him before he orders another round.
Before he goes, Nellen says, "You missed again, huh?"
Conrad stops halfway into it, like as he's walking away, and then just continues on.
Man, some of you guys are already raking in a good amount of gold.
Yeah,
Not me.
Now walks up to the.
Yeah, not you. Okay, hold on a second. I gotta do some math for some people.
I tell him that. Good fight, even though I bet against you.
It's alright. You know, to be honest, I bet against you too.
All's fair.
You guys put up a way better fight.
Thank you.
But after seeing that fight, you guys all understand that maybe Madeline ain't the dainty girl you guys thought. Okay. Dame Mercedes and Sin are gonna go over to the bar and drink some more. They're all gonna get some food too.
How much is it for food, by the way?
Food is going to net you. There's you just want a plate of food or you want to go all out?
Just a plate of food.
Okay, it's just 2 silver.
Okay, so I'm also going to order another drink with that, so 4 silver total.
Yep.
Cletus is gonna get a plate of food too and just sit down at a bar stool or a table.
Well, the bar is the most empty place right now. That whole side over there, Cletus, is completely filled with people. You guys basically have the one oval table that's empty, and then the bar. And so who's getting? If you're getting food or drinks, take it off and just let me know. So Conrad, he got some food and drinks.
I marked it off.
Okay. Anyone else getting food?
I did, and I marked it off.
Okay.
I'll
And
get some food and a bottle of wine.
okay, that's gonna be 5 gold for you, Corin, and 2 silver for the meal.
Yeah.
And after a few moments, you guys are brought your meals. It's basically a fried steak with a very, very rich gravy with mushrooms, onions, carrots, and peas and corn in the gravy. Like, it's really hearty, very good. And you guys got a side of like mashed potatoes with chives and green onions, and like a little bit of sour cream and butter on it. It's a delicious meal. And Nat, what are you doing?
I go up to Trevor. What's his name?
Yeah,
Wherever he is.
he's on the other side of the stage, but you don't have to move your character. And like as you approach, he almost kind of like like he's taken aback a little bit. He looks kind of scared of you.
Can I buy you a drink?
Oh, no, ma'am, not necessary. But it actually doesn't sound like that. It's, no, ma'am, no, you don't need,
Are you sure? Cause
No, and like he actually starts gathering his things and leaves the bar. He looks a little defeated.
As I see him leave, I yell, "You suck, Trevor!"
God, first the goblin, now Trevor.
And I didn't even use the vicious mockery on him.
I was gonna say, I don't even have vicious mockery.
Oh, but Trevor will still remember this. It's great. You guys created a villain and you guys don't even know it.
Little did you know, he had a bigger brother.
I apologize. I tried to buy him a drink.
Okay. You guys want to do anything else?
I'm just checking the board.
Okay. You see the same exact things they did.
Nope, I'm just sitting at the bar, eating my meal, drinking my milk.
Yep. And Merriment has had, to eat your drinks and stuff like that. I need Conrad to roll me an endurance.
1 sec.
And Corn, are you going through your bottle pretty quickly?
I'm actually gonna wait for Nat and try to share with her, considering she basically paid for it.
Fuck.
Conrad, you're getting drunk. Like, you're drunk.
Okay.
This is what, this is your second one? Yeah, you're drunk.
This is actually my third one.
I thought you had one and then this one.
I had one before, and then we checked out the quest board, but that was a while ago. Then I got one for Nat's fight. Well, I guess it would be, because, that was a pretty short fight, right?
Yeah, no, trust me. Like, that first one probably would have lasted you for the board and the fight. Like, these are big pints. Like,
Okay.
They're not really pints; they're like double pints. So
I thought they were just regular fights. So
no, they're large. Like but given that, since this is your second very large one, you were drunk.
Okay. Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Okay, and you guys finish your food. You guys are getting kind of tipsy. Besides Cletus. Nat, what are you doing?
Yeah, Nat goes up to the bar.
Okay. Corn, you see Corn flutter over towards you.
I'll offer her some wine. You did very good out there, big girl.
Thanks. I just wish the fight lasted longer.
No, you're drunk, remember.
Oh, well, can I drink more, or?
I mean, you can if you want to.
Sure!
Okay, go ahead and roll me an endurance check.
I just would wish the fight lasted longer. I was very sad about that. Alright, endurance check.
Okay, everything's becoming hazy. Like you're slammering all your speech, you're slurring, you're probably knocking over glasses at this point. You're drunk. If you drink any more, you may black out or pass out.
Corin's actually gonna go for a charisma check.
One more time?
I'm gonna go for a charisma check.
Okay.
On Nat.
Okay. What are you trying to do?
Subtle romancing.
Okay. But how? How do you do it?
You're really cool out there. Like, how you punched him, it was... You got some bite to you.
Nat, Corn's talking to you, but you're really drunk, and all you're really paying attention to is you can hear the fluttering of his wings and stuff like that, and you're like, wings. I'm hungry. I want some wings.
Yeah, I definitely want some wings.
The dwarven lady walks up and she literally just slides over a bowl of wings and comes over and joins you while you eat them. And she grabs a couple out of the bowl.
Oh, thanks.
She's like, not a problem, lass. I love it when a girl steps in the ring and teaches those boys what for.
I can agree.
Can Conrad?
Yeah,
What would be perception or insight to see if she's even drunker than he is?
Insight. Okay. You can't tell.
All right.
You have disadvantage right now on your shit, so yeah, you're taking a penalty. You can't tell.
Fair enough.
I mean, at this point, it's getting pretty wobbly. Okay, anyone else wanting to do anything?
Nope, I'm just waiting here.
Okay.
Poor Cletus.
Eventually, after a little bit, Damus Ares actually voices up, and he's getting pretty drunk now too. And he waves over. He's like, "Yeah, lady, ma'am, burps a little bit like, you, he's like, the pretty dwarf lady. And she's like, she blushes a little bit like, how can I help you, you giant of a man? He's like, and he like kind of leans in. He leans in as if he's like trying to like quietly say this, but he's drunk in a bar, so you basically all hear it. So where would one go if they wanted, some entertainment? And he like gives this like big like wink at her, and she's like, well, I do have my girls up on the third floor, but if you want to wait a little bit, I get off. I'll stop working here soon. And like she starts patting his hand a little bit.
Natalie can't contain her laughter.
You see Conrad in an inquisitive state of mind.
Karen actually doesn't understand what's going on right there.
Yep. Sin actually, like he steps in and he's like, you said third floor. She's like, yeah, go up there, and my girls are all up there. You talk to them about it, what you want and everything, and they have the right to say no, but they're there if you guys need them.
I accidentally clicked it twice somehow. I wanted to kind of whisper to her, what's the price is.
Okay. You guys all hear this. He's pretty drunk. So he's like, what's the price is? And she's like, well, you gotta take that up with my girls. Some of them have different prices, and depending on what you want. How many times are you gonna click stealth?
That's some weird error on my part. I'm gonna reload the character sheet. Sorry.
Okay, yeah. 3 stealth.
Not sure what's going on there.
Now it just starts laughing back, Conrad.
And she looks after Conrad says that, and she looks over at Nat and she says, I also have my boys up there too if you want something. And she gives you like a big wink as she like walks over and grabs another chicken wing and starts eating it.
I'm fine, thanks.
She's like, okay.
Play music up there, or what kind of entertainment is it?
The best entertainment heals.
So music?
And the dwarven lady looks over and she's like, why don't you explain it to your friend? And she just walks away because there's customers are down asking for drinks and stuff like that. She's going to attend to everyone else's needs.
Who is she talking to? Conrad or Natalie?
She was kind of in general, like towards Damasaries, Sin, Conrad, and Nat. Like just like in general, like she pointed, like kind of did one of those like broad, like where she like kind of points at everyone at once. Like, what do you guys, explain it to them?
Okay.
Right now, that's the biggest innocent, childlike smile on Corin's face.
So Conrad will kind of, try to look a bit sober now, and then like point to Corin. So when a man or a woman like desires, like use air quotations, company of like another man or woman, depending on what you're into, they go to an establishment like this and they pay some money, and depending on how good the person is, you will or will not get sick. All depends on the coin. Like he just kind of looks to Natalie to see if like she's confirming this for him.
But isn't that what friends are for?
I mean, they're friends for however long you pay them, sure.
That doesn't sound right. I wouldn't pay you guys. I already like you guys without paying you.
Sin actually walks up and he's gonna whisper something into Corin's ear. Give me a second. He's the only one in the group just not shit-faced drunk besides Cletus.
Okay. Nalen, and then says. Nalen says, and hopefully they won't miss this time. It's like she's just directly like mocking him a little bit, maybe kind of poking fun at him a little bit.
Well, why would they be missing? What the heck? Like,
And she just lets out a snicker. Like she knows why, but she doesn't want to say.
And Korn, when he says this to you, it's in a way that you understand what he's talking about. Now you understand what they mean.
You big people are weird paying for that stuff.
I mean, like, wait. So, did I hear that part?
Yeah, I said it out loud.
So, Conrad.
And it's real quick. As soon as he says that, he looks at the rest of the group. He said, "You guys gotta learn how to talk, or you guys gotta understand how Fey people, explain things." And he just walks over, and he actually, on the way back to the seat, he's gonna grab one of the wings out of your bowl, and he's gonna toss it up in the air, and his little dragon wing catches it and starts munching on it.
Cool dragon.
He says that it is.
It really likes if you pet it.
Really?
You better hope it likes you. She's chuckling and giggling.
Can I roll something like, what would it be like, just, would it be like a will save just for guessing myself whether or not I would do it?
No, it's whether or not you want to do it. If you want to do it, go do it.
My character doesn't want to do it then.
Okay.
Madeline's so drunk, she'll try and pet the dragon anyway.
Okay. And as you walk up, it's currently like it has like one end of each wing in its hand, like just kind of like eating it, almost like a ream of corn. Just and are you trying to like stealthily do it?
Sure, I'll try stealth this time.
Okay, stealth it. Okay. With great precision and cat-like reflexes in her own mind, but to everyone else, like she stumbles out of her chair, it falls over, and like she's like stomping on the floor, like tries to like sneak up to Sin without like touching him, but she's like basically leaning against him, and she like goes to put out her hand, taps it on the back of the head, and pulls back real quick. It doesn't do anything. It keeps eating the chicken.
That's shocking. Yeah. No one says, I suppose that's better than last time.
Okay, and eventually, Sin's like, okay, well, albeit how much fun we've had in the last day, I am kind of tired, so I'm gonna make my way to bed. We'll see you guys all in the morning. And he looks at everyone, so, let's just meet down here and, see if we would still want to stick together and maybe get together on a job.
I am going to go over and grab the emissaries and be like, hey, can I have a word with you real quick?
Sure.
And I kind of motion over here, kind of pull them away from everyone else.
Okay. He's like, how can I help you?
So, looking at that message board, and I think that
message board. And he burps a little bit.
I think that me and you might be able to put in some good work, hunting some goblins and animals and maybe some ogres by the lake.
Oh, by the lake? Oh, sure. I mean, and he's like burping and stuff like that. He just ate. He's been drinking. I mean, I would have you roll insight, but you're sober and he's not. He's drunk. You're pretty sure he's not actually listening to you right now. He's like, yeah, I mean, we could talk about what we're doing tomorrow, but you, and he's like poking you chest, and it's not like most people poking someone in the chest, like when they're talking to them and they're drunk. This is a very large man poking you in the chest, so like if it was any harder, it would probably you'd be taking like 1 damage, but like it's like boom, boom, like you're almost like push back a little bit, like you're a good guy. And he like pats you on your shoulder, and he like, and he like covers his mouth, and he's like, "No, I'm good." And then he walks back over to the bar.
Oh, he walks back over.
Yeah.
Ah.
He,
Alright, well, I'm gonna head up to my room and go to bed then.
He keeps kind of eyeballing this dwarf lady.
Alright. I'm gonna go to bed then.
Okay.
Can I roll to see if he's staring at that lady?
Sure. You can roll perception. Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he seems to be. Like if she walks behind him, every once in a while, like peek over his shoulder, and be like, like there's this shit-eating grin on his face, like, yeah. Because she's right now, like, going through the bar, like, she's wiping down some tables. More and more patrons are starting to leave the bar and stuff like that. And she's just walking around cleaning up, all the messes and stuff like that.
Now the pokes her head out, a little bit to Damus Ares. Like, so, you got a type, huh?
Yeah. They let me touch them, and he, like, kind of gives you, like, finger crossbows. The D&D equivalent of finger guns, because they don't have guns, it's crossbows. Finger crossbows. He was like, they let me touch him, and, like, he smiles.
Oh, that poor man.
And he's like, what, and he burps again, what's your type?
You know,
Conrad, just hearing that, goes like, you kind of pause there, lady.
I'm now. It's like I'm sure you would have missed that, just like everything else.
Conrad kind of ignores that last part. Goes like, hey man, I don't judge. I go both ways. Whatever.
I mean, I haven't thought about.
She's like, I haven't thought about, I mean, yeah, she just gets like blushy and like instead of covering herself with her shirt, she covers her face with her scarf instead.
Go ahead and roll me perception, Conrad.
Sure, one sec. Let me hang on to bring up the character sheet.
Okay. Yes, she pulls up her scarf, and you can tell she's blushing.
Oh, sorry. I mean, you brought it up, so.
Yeah, Damus Ares actually scoots it a little bit closer. He's like, yeah, you can't, and he burps again, like, you can't point fingers without, and like he's holding up his hand, and like he's like messing around with his hand, like the finger position and stuff like that. He's like, you can't point something out without pointing at yourself, and like he kind of trails off a little bit because he's like trying to figure out how to hold his hand. The whole adage, like, if you point your finger at someone else, there's still like four fingers pointing back at you. Like you can tell he's trying to struggle to like figure out what that meant, and like he's trying to like
Conrad
messing with his hand a little bit. But he's like, well, you know what I mean.
Conrad agrees, even though he's just not entirely sure what he's agreeing with. So yeah, Deimos Ares, right? Yeah. What he said.
Big people are weird.
You just haven't had enough of that wine, man.
She's generally thinking about it.
Yeah, and Deimos Ares like, we'll get you to talk eventually, little ass. And at that moment, like, you see the little dwarven lady walk up and smack Deimos Ares. Like, he's a big dude, and these bar stools are like only so large, so like part of him is like hanging off the bar stool, and like she just walks up and smacks him on the ass, Like, and he like jumps up. He's like, "Let's go, big guy." And he just like looks over at her. She's literally just walking up the steps, and like he just looks at you guys, looks over at the steps, looks back over at you guys. And was like, "I'm gonna go."
Good luck, buddy.
Try not to crush him, champ.
She just keeps giggling.
She keeps giggling through her scarf. Oh man, if she was there, I would have bought another drink.
Well, there's still the other middle-aged guy. Once she went upstairs, like he went back over to the bar and started like working it and stuff like that.
I look towards Conrad and I say, "Come on, one more drink."
Conrad goes like, "Hey, I'm down with that. Yeah, let's get another. Yeah, let's go."
Yeah.
Okay, it's gonna be 2 silver piece, and I need you guys to roll me a endurance check.
I'll buy his. I'll buy his. Why not?
Okay.
Cool. Okay. And oh, there you go. That's better.
You think?
Current's gonna finish up his wine as well.
Okay, give me 2 endurance checks, Cord.
We are pretty destroyed.
We kind of are.
Okay. Corin, you are on the cusp of passing out. Like, you are pretty fucking drunk. Okay. And as you look over, Corin, after you finish your bottle, you see Nat just curled up on her bar stool. She's actually on the floor, curled up with her bar stool, like she's cuddling with it.
Hmm.
And you can actually hear her light snoring. Nat, you are now asleep. And Conrad, you are just on the cusp of passing out. Like, you cannot drink anymore. Any more drinking, you're gonna pass out.
So me and Corn are the only ones like currently awake, right?
Out of your guys' group right now, yes. You guys are both very drunk, and Nat is just passed out, curled up with his bar stool.
Oh, fuck. She passed out. Corin, help me pick her back to her room. She's fucking drunk.
Sure. Yep.
And seeing this, the middle-aged man behind the bar, he's like, "Hey, Kroger!" And there was a half-orc man in the group of people that are still there. He's like, "Yeah, boss." And he's like, "We got a downer." And he's like, "What room?" And he's like, and he pulls out the book and he starts rummaging through it. And he's like, "Second floor, last one on the right." And he's like, "Okay." And he walks over and he stands next to you guys and he's like, "This one of your guys's?"
Yeah, she's a friend of ours, I guess.
I'll make sure she gets up there. And he just basically, like, fireman, like, picks her up on his back and starts traipsing up the stairs.
Do I take the stool with me?
You kind of cling to it. He kind of has to pry it out of your hands.
Yeah.
If you were a little bit more awake, I would say it would be opposing athletic checks, but you're pretty drunk, so, and passed out, yeah, so you cling to it for a second, but, you know, he's a half-orc. He's a pretty big dude, so he's able to take it from you. And after a few minutes, you guys see the same half-orc come back down the stairs.
All right, then like Conrad will kind of like, "She make it to bed, okay?"
And he's like, "Yeah, I put her on her bed."
Okay.
So is she gonna like pay you for taking her to bed, or?
Oh no, Corn, that's the third floor. Third floor.
Yeah, the orc just passes. He has no clue what you guys are talking about.
Exactly. So then Conrad will kind of like go look to Corn like, "Okay, buddy, I'm tapping out. I'm going to bed."
Okay, I'll come with you.
Okay.
Cool.
And you guys all make it up to your room. Nat, you start going to sleep, and you're immediately woken up.
Huh?
And And everyone else, you guys, or sorry, never mind. Backtrack. You guys all make it to your rooms. It's very nice rooms. Pretty standard to like the inn at Celestia. Same accommodations and stuff like that, minus the running water. In the toilet, you guys just got honey bucket and wash basin. You guys all make it to sleep. It's very comfy beds. After the fight the other day, and some of you having bar fights today and alcohol and stuff like that, you guys are ready for bed. You guys pass out pretty good. And Nat, I need you to drop the call real quick, and I'm gonna call you privately for a second.
Sure.
Okay. You make it to your bed. Oh, well, you don't really know that, but you're after a few moments, like you're in your restful sleep, dreaming of your tiefling boy jumping over a fence. You're counting them, just one. You're woken up with kind of a pretty loud noise. And it's dark. You're in a room. You have no clue where you are, and all you're hearing is, "You must still go to the Shire. You must still go to the Shire." And it's just, on and on and on. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Secretly to you, or
You can just do a general. No one has any clue what this is about. Okay. You look down at your shirt. Your shirt has a mouth on it, and it's telling you to go to the Shire.
Oh man,
now I'm not sure whether or not to take a shirt off or just.
Yeah, it's like the wall. Like there's not just a random mouth on it. Your shirt has created like lips and teeth and everything, and it's literally like talking. Every time it opens, like you can see like your stomach through it, and it's just opening and closing. Like, "You must go to the Shire." Just over and over and over again.
She tried to take the shirt off and
maybe it's
Okay, you do so, and when you take your shirt off, it's still continuing. You just throw it on the floor or something.
yeah, but not too far.
Okay, and it's just on the ground right now, just continuing. "You must go to the Shire. You must go to the Shire." It's a little muffled now because you kind of threw it mouth side down.
That's a little bit better.
Yeah, but it's still going. Go ahead and give me let me see, an endurance check. Okay. Yeah, it's muffled, but you can't fall asleep to it. Do you just want to wait? What do you want to do?
let's see.
Now remember, you're really shit faced, so take that into consideration, like with your thinking process and stuff.
Natalie goes up to
Natalie goes up to her room door,
Okay.
pokes her head out, and says, maybe yells something like, "Does anyone know what the Shire is?"
No response.
And then she just closes the door. Is there a way to see where the source is coming from?
It's your shirt. It's your shirt. Your shirt literally grew a mouth and is speaking to you.
Just like 1930s cartoons. Aw, man. She has no idea what to do.
Okay, did you just sit on your bed?
Yes, I just sit on my bed
Yeah, I just curl up in a little ball and just wait.
and just wait.
Okay, after 10 minutes, it stops.
Uh,
She goes up the the shirt and pokes a little bit.
Okay. Nothing. It's a shirt.
Puts her hand on it a little bit.
Feels like a shirt.
You know, the holes are gone.
Yep. Oh, I mean, it's kind of hard to see in the light because right now you're in a dark room. You got a little bit of the moonlight coming in, but you didn't. There's no candles or anything lit, so
Maybe I can go light something up.
Sure. Go ahead and give me a perception check. So now you got to stumble around the dark, drunk.
With my minor dim light vision.
Okay. You're putzing about, and you feel the lantern. Or you feel the little room light.
I try to light it.
Okay. You know, you grab your flint and steel, and you go ahead and light it, and it's lit.
Alright. Do I notice anything?
You're sitting in your room. There's a shirt on the floor, and that's about it.
Crap. Who can I even go to at this point? Man, she knows nothing, and she's drunk.
Yeah. You're really drunk. I mean, right now, all you feel like is you want to sleep. That's it. Like, you're that type of drunk. Like, you're just like, I just want to go to sleep.
Just want to go to bed. When she feels her shirt is safe, again, I suppose.
I mean, well, it stops talking. It's just a shirt sitting on the ground.
Yeah, she picks it up.
Okay.
Lays in bed.
Okay. And after a few moments, you know, like, you pass back out. And after a couple hours, you get woken up again. And your shirt is screaming again. Again, it's saying, you were supposed to go to the Shire.
Looks like it's gonna be one of these kind of days. She picks up the shirt.
Okay.
Goes downstairs.
Okay, you're gonna go down topless?
Yes.
Okay. You make your way down, and immediately there's just only two people down here at this point. It's the half-orc man and middle-aged gentleman, and they look over like, oh, and they run over like the half-orc like grabs like a cloth and like just runs over and like he's like looking away. And he's like, oh, what happened?
I try to resist a little bit. Do you know what the Shire is?
Did you take your shirt with you?
I'm just holding it in my arm, but it's not really like I'm holding it in my hand.
Okay.
It's not covering anything, I suppose.
Okay. Well, when you walk down and they cover you, they look over and they're like, what is that?
I don't know.
Is that your shirt? Do you have something in your shirt, ma'am?
Something on my shirt?
Yeah.
She hands it to him.
And he looks and he's like, and as soon as he opens it to the side where the mouth is, he drops it. He's like, what the fuck is that? He's like, ma'am, your shirt is talking.
You can see it too?
Yes. Your shirt is talking.
I didn't.
What is a Shire?
I don't know. That's what I want to know.
I've never heard of that, ma'am.
It just, for the past several days, something just kept telling me to go to the Shire.
And just then your shirt stops talking.
And that, like, pokes it again.
It's a shirt. Well, do you need any assistance, ma'am? I mean...
I don't know what I need right now. I
Okay.
keeps waking me up in the night.
Well, did you want to leave it down here or something? I mean, I've just. And he looks over at the middle-aged guy standing behind the bar, and he just shrugs his shoulders. He's like, we really don't have a protocol for talking shirts. And trust me, Our Lady, she has pretty much rules and protocols for everything.
She's like, normally she wouldn't like the part with the shirt, but she's very unsure of everything. And kind of like, okay, I can leave with you for a little bit. And just try not to lose it, okay?
And he's like, sure, not a problem, ma'am. And he hands it over, and he's like, Harold, why don't you put this in the lockbox? I'm sure Lady Catmara wouldn't mind. And, he takes the shirt, goes behind the bar, and there's a little chest there, and he pops it open, the lock, and he puts it in there. Well, if you need anything else, ma'am, be sure to let us know.
And she nods her head a little bit, drunk, and she's like, thank you.
Okay. And he kind of gives you the little cloth that he had. He's like, if you could just wait there right 1 minute. And he runs back behind a door behind the bar, and he comes back out, and he's like, it should be about your size. He said it's one of Lady Catmara's spare shirts, just in case one of the patrons pukes on her or anything. And he hands you a little shirt. It's not too bad. Pretty comfy feeling.
Yeah. Seems comfy enough.
Yep.
I thank you. I'm just gonna try and go back to bed now.
Okay. And you make your way back to bed, and you fall asleep, and that's it.
Plop.
Okay, and let's go back and join the room.
Alright.
Alright, you're back.
Yep, we're back.
And you guys eventually find yourself stirring. You guys, for those who were drinking pretty heavily last night, you guys squint open your eyes, and you guys got sunlight coming through your window. Judging by the angle of the sun, it's probably around 10 or 11. You guys slept in pretty good. Actually, I'm gonna start up with Cletus. You're gonna be the first one to wake up. You wake up, and it looks like it's probably around 8 or 9.
Okay. Did you say we do or do not have running water?
You do not. It's just a wash basin and a honey bucket.
Okay. I am going to get my stuff and head downstairs.
Okay.
So,
As a gentle reminder, okay, because this is going to be one of the last times I warn you guys. You fought goblins and had goblin goo all over you the other day. You might want to take a moment to wash up.
mm-hmm.
And you also had a combat and a fist fight. You may want to go to the wash basin and wash up a little bit.
Yeah, wash yourselves up, fools.
So, did you want to do that first?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
Is that in regard to all of us? Because my guy mainly fought them at range.
But you also fought.
True. Okay.
Yeah, so I wash up, then I head downstairs.
Okay. Yeah, moving on from this point forward, if you guys do not maintain washing, and it's a choice. If you guys don't want to, you don't want to. But just know that you will start to stink.
Okay.
Okay, so go Cletus, what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna get some breakfast.
Okay. You go down, and it's you see the dwarf down there, dwarf lady. You see Madame Catmara down there.
Madame, may I get some breakfast, please?
Oh, of course you can. And she goes back and brings out a plate, and it's a delicious big omelet. You can tell just from the outside there's it's topped with green onions, diced up on top. You can't really tell what's in it from here. You probably have to cut it open.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a good sized omelet.
Yep. I'm just gonna gobble it down, and while I'm eating it without food in my mouth, I'm gonna ask her if there's somewhere I could get a map of the area.
Yeah, if you go down to the market area, they should be opening up soon. There's a few general stalls out there. You should be able to get a map.
Okay. Thank you. I finished my meal, and then I'm going to head on out and go to the market.
Okay, and you head out, and like the town's like still really like waking up and stuff like that. You still see a few stores like setting up. You do see something that you didn't see yesterday is a large group of people. The buildings surrounding you. There's a lot of people with very kind of ragged, dirty clothing and stuff like that. Some of them are wearing like head coverings that seem to be like made out of different animal shells, different materials. A couple of them are made out of metal. A lot of humans, dwarves. It's few orcs, half orcs. A whole group of different people. You even see a Goliath. And they're all basically heading all towards the same direction, towards the mountainside.
Can I roll to see if I kind of know what they're going to do?
Sure. Go ahead and roll me. Which one would this be? I'll go insight. It's a mining town. They're dirty. Maybe they're miners.
Okay. So I keep heading towards the market.
Okay, eventually you find it, and it's still early. There's still a lot of shops opening, but there's a few that are still open.
I just walk up to one of them.
Okay. Just the first one you see. Okay. It's a guy. He's putting out like it looks like rolls of fabric and stuff like that, and he's just kind of setting it up. And he sees you approaching, and he's like, "Oh, how can I help you?"
I was looking to purchase a map of the area. I don't know if you can help me or not.
What were you gonna say?
I was just saying I don't know if you could help me or not.
Oh, he's like, "Oh, what you're gonna need is," and like he like leans over the front of his stall and like points down the way, and he's like, Krieger right over there, and he's pointing to this middle-aged man with like this really, really light-colored, like almost like a platinum blonde mohawk, and like he's sitting over on a significantly larger stall. Like a lot of the stalls in this market area are just like it's a booth with like an overhang area. He's pointing at this one that's like a wraparound one with like a big roof. It's basically like a small shop with no walls. It's much bigger. He's like, yeah, you can go down there and he'll be able to help you out with that.
Okay, head down there.
Okay. And you walk over and you see Krieger down there, and he sees you approaching. He's like, "Oh, what can I get you, sir?"
Good morning. I was looking for a map of the area.
A map of Letest?
Yeah, Letest in the surrounding area.
Oh, well, what the maps we have is we have maps of Elwis, and we have a map of Letest, Celestia, and we just ran out of some of the other maps, but those are the ones we got in stock right now.
I'll get one of Eloist.
Okay.
Eloist.
That's gonna be 1 gold piece.
Okay, hand him the 1 gold piece.
Okay, and now you have the map of Eloist.
What kind of other stuff does he have?
He has like standard adventuring gear, like water skins. He has a few sun rods. He has like a few dried ration packages, rope, a few various different equipments. Basically, like if you went into the adventuring, the equipment guide, a lot of the stuff that's in there. There's a lot of just work stuff. And the back stuff, he does have a lot of like farm tools, mining picks, things like that as well.
I'm gonna buy another water skin.
Okay. Let me double check price of that one real quick. Water skin. Water skin. Where the hell's the water skin? Oh, water skin. That's gonna be 1 gold piece.
Okay, I hand him one.
Okay. And he gives you a water skin.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just kind of gonna look around what other kind of shops they have here.
Okay. I mean, looking at these shops, it's not like the Middle District in Celestia. Like a lot of the stuff that's available here are more utility stuff. You do see a smith in the not really in the market area, but you can hear like metal clanging and stuff like that. And there's actually a dwarf out in front of the building, like he's working an anvil and stuff like that. And he actually has like a furnace and stuff out front of the shop, and he's working metal and stuff like that. You can see like arrows in like little bundles by the shop, and like simple swords, things like that, armor, real basic stuff.
Alright, I'm just gonna head back to the inn then.
Okay. And you make your way in, and pause you right there, and let's go in the order of least drunk. By the time you get back, you do see Sin. He's sitting down eating breakfast. You also see Raylon there. You see Demerel. You see Daylock. And that's it so far.
Okay.
Did you want to talk to anyone, sit next to anyone, or anything in particular?
Nope, I'll just take a random seat.
Okay. Pause it right there. Let me see. Next, least, Corin. You're gonna be the first one to wake up. You peek open your eyes. You're a bit hungover. You're a little groggy. And you're awake though. So what do you want to do?
How asleep does Conrad look?
I mean, he's still asleep. And as you're looking at him, if you give it a moment, you do see him stir a little bit, but he's still asleep.
I'm gonna poke him in the face.
Okay.
Heart stir.
Conrad, you feel a slight poke,
Huh?
and you open up your eyes, and you see a fluttering pixie right in front of you, and the sunbeams are kind of cascading over him, so like you really see like just silhouette of flapping wings and sun hitting your face. It's actually going to startle you a little bit.
So he's gonna kind of jolt back, and then I guess realize it's Corin.
Yeah.
Oh, morning. So I'm guessing my guy's pretty hungover, right?
Yeah, I mean, about the same as Corin. Like, you're not like sitting there like your head is like just pounding like someone's beating a hammer into it, but like you have a feeling if someone screamed, it would probably hurt, and you got that little bit of queasiness and a little bit of grogginess, like just like like you could sleep for. It's one of those where like you kind of just want to wake up, eat something, and then go back to sleep for like another hour or two. It's
That's
like one of
kinda
those
weird.
feelings.
Okay, yeah. So he's like, oh, okay. Morning, Corin.
Morning.
And he's like, kind of waking up.
I think we might want to head downstairs and talk about what we're gonna do.
Yeah, you can go on ahead. I'm gonna get myself washed up first.
Okay.
Yeah, so Conrad's gonna wash himself up first.
Corin is gonna do so as well.
Okay. I mean, you
All
guys
right.
finish almost about the same time.
Yep. So and then Conrad, got his gear all on set. Then he'll kind of go look to Corin. You ready?
Yep.
So I guess we both proceed downstairs.
Okay. You guys make your way downstairs, and you see the Platinum Band, Sinkos, and Cletus all sitting down. Platinum Band and Sin are enjoying breakfast.
All right. And out of character, is my water skin empty?
You should be checking it. Let me see. At this point, I would say yes.
Okay. So Conrad would go to the stool next to Cletus, if that's available.
Sure.
Yeah, so Gladstone next sit next to him and ask the barkeep for two things. One for breakfast and then two for if they can refill the water skin for him.
Okay. And you see Madame Katmera, and she's like, and she sees you guys approach. She's like, "Oh, rough night last night." 'Cause you guys are obviously a little groggy, and she's like, "Oh, don't worry." And like she motions to you guys to sit down, and she walks in the back room and brings out this gigantic, like just delicious smelling omelet. Like you can't tell what's in it, but there's just an aroma of flavors coming off of it. And you tell her that you need your water skin filled, and she takes it back and
I chime in and ask her if she can fill mine up too.
Okay, and she grabs it and takes it back. Okay, and she comes back and hands you guys your filled water skins back.
Thank you, madame.
Thank you, ma'am.
And she nods to each of you.
Bring back the tokens. Tokens.
Yeah, so then Conrad will proceed to eat his delicious breakfast, I assume.
Oh, it is delicious. Like you cut into this omelet. There's cheese, pork belly in it. Just all like lightly diced up, like green peppers. Like everything's really fresh. It's very fragrant. And, like it's cooked perfectly.
Mm-hmm. So I guess during that, he'll kind of look to Cletus. So, feeling better today?
Yep, I'm feeling good. Well rested.
There you go. Looks like you're ready for the mission.
Did I regain my health overnight that way?
Yeah, every time you guys sleep, you guys get your hit points back and you get all your abilities back.
And surges as well, right?
Yes, and your healing surges. Okay, and as you guys are, finishing up your breakfast, you guys hear the heavy footfalls of Demosaries as he comes downstairs, like kind of rubbing his nose a little bit, like like he's trying to wake up, slaps himself like a little bit. And as soon as he comes down the stairs, you see Madame Katmera, like she like goes over towards the end of the bars closest to the stairs, and he looks down at her and she smiles up at him, and she's like, "Oh, sorry, I had to tire you out so much." And he like raises his hand. She's like, "That was worth it." He's like, and like, he like sits down like right as close to her as possible. He's like, "Yeah, I wasn't really expecting that, but." And she's like, "I know, they never do." And she like kind of slaps his cheek a little bit, and she's like, "Let me get you some food or some breakfast, honey." And she walks back, and his plate is ridiculous. Like his is, it's more like a serving platter, and there's omelet. There's a piece of the fried steak from last night on it, and like some extra stuff on it. Like it, almost pretty much like a nap plate. And like he gets it, and she's like, "Oh, there you go. You probably need this. Refill your stamina." And she gives him a wink and goes back to cleaning up and setting up for the day. And he devours it. He looks famished.
Poor guy. Oh, lucky guy.
No, I mean he's looking good now, but he does seem very tired, a little bit more tired than you guys are right now.
I wonder why.
Yeah. If you guys want to roll insight, you guys can, but
I would, but I'm not there.
Do I really need to for that?
So. Okay, and as he's eating, you guys are finishing up with your meal. Nat, you're waking up, and you just feel like total garbage. Go ahead and remove a healing surge.
Again.
Oh wow.
Oh wait, no, 2 healing surges. I forgot.
Ah. So would it be refilled then -2, or?
Yes, refill it and then just -2.
How do you determine the total amount of surges?
Yeah, just look at your healing surges a day, subtract 2, and that's what your total is right now.
Ah, dang. All right. Yeah, I get up and like,
Okay, you're awake.
I'm just feeling around. Just feeling around for things.
Like one of those, like, you don't want to open up your eyes, so you just feel around for everything.
Yes.
Yeah, you gather your things. Do you want to wash up or anything?
I may sprinkle some water up on my face.
Okay. It helps, sort of. Like, it's like polishing a turd. It really doesn't do much. But, it's the thought that counts. Yeah. So you gather your things, you're cleaned up a little bit.
I look for quote unquote my shirt.
Okay. Alright, well, it's not in your room.
She's patting herself and looking around. She remembers.
Yeah, you remember.
Alright.
Can I roll insight to see if I see her shirt down here?
No, and you don't know that you're looking for her shirt, so no.
Okay.
So yeah, she grabs her things. Like, not used to this. What she's currently wearing right now.
I mean, it's not as large as the last one, but it is very comfy. It is a fine material.
She's not used to it though.
Yeah.
So yeah. She grabs her stuff, goes downstairs.
Okay. You guys see Nettling creeping down, like kind of slowly staggering. Like she's bad. Like she has like just big raccoon eyes. Like she looks fucked up. And as soon as you come down, Madame Catmary, she's like, "Oh, you're finally awake, lass. I heard about last night." And she's like, looks you up and down, issues. And she goes behind the bar and she opens up the chest and she pulls out the shirt and she hands it to you. She's like, "If you could go change into this, I would, I like my shirt back."
She may be tired, but she's like, I completely understand. I'd like my shirt back too.
Okay.
And where did she say I can go and change this shirt?
You can go back up to your room and change.
Yeah, alright. I'll do it.
So she really does go both ways.
And
I said so. I mean,
you grab your shirt and you make your way back down, and you guys see Nat coming down in her regular shirt.
I feel whole again.
Yeah.
I'm so tired, so I walk over to the bar.
Okay, and by the time you change and stuff like that, Lady Catmara has another omelet prepared for you, and she just slides it over to you as soon as you go to sit down.
Thanks.
And she just hands you the biggest glass of water ever. And you see it, and you're like, "Oh God, I want it! I want it! I want it!"
Pull out my water skin and ask her if she can refill that.
Okay. And she grabs it and takes it back. And she comes back after a moment with a full water skin.
Thank you. I drink down that water so fast.
Yeah. I mean, it helps, but again, like you're tired as balls right now.
And probably have a hangover.
Yeah, and you just like every time anyone goes slight above a whisper, like you can hear it. Every time someone moves in their seat, you can hear the wood creaking. And it's just like nails on a chalkboard almost. You're just like, oh. And it's not so much that you're just tired. You also you feel drained.
Drained? How so?
It's hard to really put into words. You just feel like, like when it's just like, okay. Have you ever gone, like in a day, like where you haven't eaten much food and like your blood sugar gets really low and like you just feel empty on the inside and you're almost kind of like shaky. You almost feel like a little bit weak. That's kind of what you're feeling like.
Oh, okay.
You just feel drained, like more so than just being tired and hungover. You're not quite sure if it's just the combination of both or what, but you feel drained.
I just go to town on that food.
Okay.
Not as bad as Demissaries.
Yeah, like you guys are shoveling your food in, and like he's, like his plate is literally like twice the size of yours, but you guys are going about the same pace.
I'm starting to feel better, maybe.
No, not really.
Yeah, I'll get there. I'll get there eventually, she says.
Yeah. After a little bit, like the food and water, it does help your hangover a bit. But you still, like apart from just being tired, you still feel drained even after eating and drinking.
No, I guess I already know the reason.
What was that?
I guess we already know the reason.
I mean, you could take a guess, but you don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just like face the counter, a little bit afterwards, after eating a bit of food.
Mm. And as you guys are, some of you guys are finishing your meal, and some of you guys are shoveling it down. Raylan eventually stands up and walks over towards, the generalized group of the heirs. He's like, "So, how did last night fare for you guys?"
Oh, yo, great.
Just flop one hand into the air and just plop it back down.
Yeah, he lets out a big chuckle. Like, yeah, I can tell by your guys' faces. It's written all over. You guys had a good night. I wanted to discuss something with you, and he notions over towards Daylock, and Daylock quickly stands up and walks over to him. I know that you guys were assigned to this area, and they suggested that you guys go into groups. Well, yesterday, Lord Ravon assigned us with a special task, and we were heading out this morning to look into that and, do that. But, me and Damarel feel that this may be outside of Daylock's league, and we were hoping that, if one of you or if you guys were traveling as a group, if you would allow Daylock to travel with you as well. He's traveling with us to help with his training and stuff like that. He's one of the newest members on our orders, and I would really hate to leave him just sitting in Letest while we go do this. And the boy could use some experience. And he slaps him on his back, and Daylock almost like tumbles forward. And he's still very sheepish, kind of looking down, not making eye contact with any of you guys.
I stand up, say, sure, he can come with me.
And Damasaries looks over. He's like, "Yeah, sure."
Says, just flicks another hand again. Pops it right back down.
Well,
Conrad rolls his eyes at those two.
Yeah. Seeing this, Raylon looks towards Cletus and Damasaries and says, "Thank you kindly. He can take care of himself in the fight, as you guys have seen. But he's still young. He's still training, and I would really hate to miss this opportunity for him to get better."
No problem. His company will be very welcome with us.
And he's like, "Okay, he's your problem now." And he laughs and he slaps him forward. And he looks over toward Damarella. He's like, "Okay, let's get moving. We need to head out as soon as possible." And she nods towards him. And they both get up, and as soon as they walk out the door, Daylock is like, he's eyeballing them the whole way out. And then as soon as they leave, it's like, that look that small puppies will give when their owner just going out the door, and they're just like, "What? But no, you're supposed to take me. What? Where are you going?" And that look.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as the door closes, he just he sags like a good 6 inches, and then just slowly looks over towards the group, looks over at Korn, looks over at Nat, looks over at Conrad, and just lets out a sigh.
I'm just smiling and waving at him.
And he actually he pauses for a second and shakes his head a little bit and stands up straight. He's like, "As you all know, I am Daylock. I am a trained cleric of the Bahamut Order, and I am the lowest ranking of a member of the Platinum Band, and it is a pleasure to work with you." And he gives a quick a slight bow towards you guys.
Come on over here, buddy. Let's get some breakfast in ya.
I already ate, but whenever you guys are ready, I'll be ready to leave. Have you guys decided where or what you guys are doing yet?
Yeah, David says, come on. We can get a move on. We got some hunting to do.
He's like, wait, finishing, and like he's at this point, like he's like kind of the Incredible Hulk when he eats, like just picking up his plate and letting it slide off the plate into his mouth. And Madame Catmara the whole time is literally sitting with her elbows up on the bar, her head rested on her hand, just watching the emissaries eat. And she's like, I love a man who can eat like that. And like when he just down the food, sets down his plate, and she's like, she's like, don't worry, honey. The next time you come back, I'll make sure to save a spot for you too, or save a spot for you again. And like he laughs and she gives him a little wink, and he stands up. And Sin speaks up. He's like, so have you guys decided where you guys want to go? Or do you guys want to put a vote to it? Or are we splitting up? What are we doing?
That's a good question.
You hear his dragonling, like, speaking or making some noise, and he looks over at it and he's like, well, if we stick together, we can vote. And then the dragonling just says, like, starts making noises again. He's like, no, definitely not. And then it says that it keeps going. He's like, no, we'll just be patient. And like he looks towards the group.
I think we got a good group of 3 over here. You guys can do whatever you like. Kind of just waving them off.
Well, Daemon Ares looks over. He's like, well, I mean, considering the first fight we ever had here, considering how many people we had and how many people were, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but those goblins, they kind of overwhelmed me a little bit. I feel safety in numbers is probably our best bet.
That is true. It definitely seems like a dangerous land over here.
3 is a good number.
Then Daemon Ares looks over at you and he's like, well, I mean, 3 is a good number, but military strategy usually dictates that more the merrier. So if you want 3, you can go find 3. And he kind of like walks over towards, the board and stuff like that, as Sin starts walking over towards the board as well. Daylock follows. What are you guys doing?
I would follow them, I guess.
Okay.
I finished my breakfast.
Yep.
I did too as well.
I head over to the board with them. Kind of a little disappointed.
Sin is, he's eyeballing stuff over, and Daylock is looking at stuff too, and then Sin talks to his dragonling again and like looks over at you guys like, should we put it to a vote then?
Well, what's everyone's thoughts right now? Like, I like the what people pointed out earlier about the missing sailors one.
Yeah, same.
I wanted to go hunting.
I mean, there's monsters out there too.
Mm-hmm.
Mal just pokes her head out from the counter, and just slowly walks over to the board.
Not to speak for you, Daylock, but hunting be a good experience for you.
Well, again, Master Raylon assigned me with you guys, so whatever you guys, wherever you guys are going, I will follow, and I will assist you the best I can. And Daemon Ares like looks down at him and looks over at the board. He's like, yeah, I'm fine with whatever you guys pick. And Sin looks over. He's like, well, I mean, we have some people who want to hunt and some people who want to go help these fishermen. And I feel like we can 2 birds with 1 stone.
Sounds good to me.
That's fine with me.
And Sin pulls out his map and looks at it, and he's eyeballs it for a few moments, and he's like, so how should we make our way out there?
Well, I would think the missing fishermen are the highest priority first, just because.
No, he's saying, how do we get out there? Like, how do we get to the shore? Sorry.
Okay, sorry, my bad. I'm looking at the map now.
Yeah. The shore's to the west, right?
Yes.
Looks pretty simple. Just head west, I guess.
Okay, so you guys are. Sin speaks up. He's like, so you guys think it would just be okay to walk there? I mean, we'd probably be able to get to the edge of the East Coast by mid to late day.
Mm-hmm.
Seems simple enough.
I'm okay with whatever.
Probably take us a whole day to go to the lake, and a whole day back, depending on how much we get into.
Well, judging by the map that you guys have, if you guys go straight down, towards the actual water, I mean, that would probably only take a couple hours. But the notice said that it was the far east coast. So you guys are looking towards like the wood, that forest area.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is a good, I mean, just to give you guys an understanding of scale, Celestia, the island part in the center, that is about 10 miles wide.
Okay.
So using that as a reference, like it's a good, like maybe 40 miles there. Like if you guys went all the way to the coast, like you'd be getting there like towards the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, where specifically is this pointing at? Like, is that like little point edge of the forest map on the west side, or?
Oh, the notice said that just fishermen along the east coast, outside of the harbor, have been going missing.
Okay, so yeah, it just seems simplest to me to say just go west.
Did I say east again?
No.
Okay. I don't know why when you said west it sounded weird. I'm like, wait, did I just say east? I'm like, oh shit.
Well, it's because I'm talking about the east still.
Oh, okay. I keep getting confused.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Damasari says, okay, well, do we need to grab anything in town before we head out? I'm good. And Sin's like, I have everything I need.
I'm good.
I'm good.
So are we splitting up then, or are we going one big party?
Damasari speaks up. He's like, well, it seems safe bet if we're all going towards the same thing, we might as well just travel together. I mean, if a dragon can, slaughter all of those hunters that we saw on the vessel at that caravan's meetup point, I mean, if we split up, I don't think we'd be able to survive that.
I agree.
And Sin speaks up, and he has like a really like kind of sly grin. He's like, "Speak for yourself," and he like starts trotting off towards the door. He's like, and as he walks away, he's like, "Actually, if you guys wouldn't mind, I do have one stop in town to make, if that's okay with you. Should be just about a minute."
Now it just goes, eh.
Damus Aries follows him out, like, "Oh yeah, sure," and Daylock's right behind him.
Yep, I follow.
I follow.
Yeah, I'll go too.
Okay. As you guys make your way out towards town, Sin goes towards the market area, and he goes up to the first store, and he's like, I actually need to. I'm looking for ritual components. I'm an arcane caster, and it's a lady at this one doll shop. It's one of the closer stalls, and she asks him what he needs and stuff like that, and they point him out, and I'll just do shorthand. He goes to the store, picks up a few things. It's only like a good 30 or so minutes, and he's like, "Okay, I'm all done."
Awesome.
Oh.
You guys doing anything else, or are you guys ready to head out?
I believe I'm ready to head out.
Yep, I'm ready to head out.
Me too.
Corin?
Yep.
Nat?
Yes.
Okay, and that's where we will end this session.
All right.
Sounds good.
Man, okay, go ahead and end the stream.